Hello, and welcome to the Redefining Spirituality Podcast. My name is Brendan Van Witchen. This is my guest, Daniel Kortz.
Hello, guys.
Daniel and I have known each other for about 3 weeks, but the way we met was very interesting. So we basically both went on a retreat to Bali. It was the Sean Collins Psychic Mediumship retreat. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met up in the lobby and found out that we lived 5 minutes from one another.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I noticed Brendan from a podcast he did with Josh Scrivano, and I was like, hey, yo, I've seen your podcast, and yeah, sure enough, it was you.
Yeah. Also, real quick, I want to defeat the allegations that I don't know how to say Josh's surname, because basically what happened is he came on one of the earlier episodes of this, and whenever anyone has a real weird surname or something like that, to remember it, I come up with some Looney Tunes way of saying it in my head to make it really hectic so I can remember it. So with Josh Scrivano, I was like, right, how do I remember that? And in my head I'm like, Scrivanos, and it sticks to my head. And then when he was on the podcast, I was introducing him and realized that I hadn't translated the Looney Tunes name into his proper name yet to say it in English. And I just fully fumbled it. I was like, this is my friend Josh Scrinovo. And he was just like, what? And I was like, fuck. I was like, damn it. Yeah, full fumble. So yeah, just if you're watching this, Josh, I do know your surname. You just caught me off guard with it.
I'm going to call you out, because when I first came to you at that joint, I said, hey, you were on the podcast with Josh. I said Josh Scriv.
You said you're on Scriv's podcast. Yeah. I was like, who the fuck is Scriv?
Who's this? And you're like, no. And I'm like, oh, must be the wrong person. And then I come back to you later. I'm like, it's you. Josh Scrivano. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I've just never... Yeah. Well, I mean... How did I meet Josh? I met him at Esoteric a while back, and then we just got along well. I don't know why he wanted me on his podcast. I don't know. Yeah. He just asked me on, and I was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. And then it turns out that we both have a lot in common as well. And then went to one of the Men Over Matter things, which was really cool. One of his at the lake that he goes to and that.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Yeah, it was good. It was really cool. So for those who don't know, Josh does a thing, started a movement, would you call it?
Yeah.
It's a thing called Men Over Matter, which is all about men's mental health and all that kind of stuff. And it's basically, I guess you could call it a retreat of sorts that he does, where I think it's once a month. They go camping and hiking somewhere and talk about men's mental health, have organic food, do some exercises, and just talk about how to become better men for ourselves and for women and for our families and everything. And it's a really good movement. And every now and then he does free events. And for this particular one, it was down at the Lesterfield Lake, and it was all about learning how to share the load, express yourself, and communicate with other men. And so we all rocked up, and then it was quite cool. He brought a whole bunch of weights, 10 kilogram weights and stuff. And so for the walk, we all had to carry these weights. So it was metaphorically and literally sharing the load and all that kind of stuff. So
that's cool.
When someone was tired, someone else would take a hold of it, and then did a run up and down this hill. And then we just spoke about just things that we've been not just struggling with, but things that we were proud of and that we had overcame, and certain triggers that we had overcome and stuff like that. And afterwards had a good cook up, did some challenges, who could do the most push-ups kind of thing. And then went home. So it was a really good one. So it's what he's doing is really, really good. So it's cool that we kind of met. Well, he was going to introduce us, funnily enough.
Yeah.
You were saying.
Yeah, he said that on the podcast that we were on together. He's like, oh, I've got this mate, because I said that I wanted to start looking for something to do in the modalities of spirituality.
Okay.
And then, I mentioned, I was like, I'm going on a mediumship retreat, and he goes, oh, I've got a mate that's been practicing mediumship. I'll introduce him to you. Fate.
Yeah.
Funny how it works, man.
Yeah, because it's very bizarre, like going to a different country. Because I went on my own as well. So for me, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be interesting. Like first time traveling on my own and like just in a foreign country in Asia. I mean, it's the most Australian of Asian countries, but like still like, but yeah, rocking up at the lobby and then literally meeting two people who live 5 minutes from my house. It was just wild.
Yeah,
But that was cool because because we both rocked up the 2 days earlier to stay at the mansion as well.
Yeah.
So it was cool just like experiencing Bali for a bit before getting into the whole thing and just like going, I was in my element, man. Just buying packets of cigarettes and smoking at the restaurants and
It's such a nice place. And just like the experiences of shopping and bartering, which you don't really get in Australia.
Yeah, my experiences of bartering and getting the shame slides.
So apparently what they do is if you barter bad there, which I didn't know this, you told me this.
Yeah.
But they give you a specific bag. He got like a striped bag.
So look, basically, I rocked up to Bali and I didn't have any like thongs or slides. And I was like, shit, I really need a pair of slides or something. And so we went down to Ubud and went to like one of the markets. And they were all just like you'd be like, how much for this? And they're like 500,000. It's like $50 for a pair of like knockoff slides. And you're like, what? And I just couldn't be bothered with it, man. And went to that one dude and I was like, look, man, I was just real with him. I was like, mate, like, I'll be real with you. I'm not paying more than $20 for these. Like, I'll give you $20. Like, that's worth more than what these are. I can't be bothered. And he's like, oh, 25. I was like, fuck it, whatever. Here. So I paid, $25 Australian dollars for like a pair of fake Nike slides or whatever they were. And then he's like, oh, do you want a bag? And then he like rustles back, like he had to find this bag. Like he didn't have it like on hand. He had to like rustle through and gives me this like black and white striped bag. And then all of a sudden we're walking along and everyone's like coming out to try to sell me shit. And I was like, it's the fucking bag. Like, I've paid his mortgage for the year with this. And he's given me this bag that's like, let everyone know that they can take advantage of my bartering abilities. So after that, we're like, we got to get rid of this bag. And ended up going to like some like artwork clothing shop.
That's a cool shop.
And she's like, oh, do you want a new bag? I was like, yeah, this is the one they gave me. And even the girl in there like started laughing. Like she knew that she knew what had happened.
The joke continued on the shame slides.
The shame slides.
Ooh, you got your shame slides on.
But then, then we went into another shop and they had the same bag that the dude gave me like in a trash can, like as the trash lining bag. And I was like,
forgot about that.
I was like, oh man, like, just really fumbled that one. But I still got the slides. Like they're all right. I don't care so much.
Have you worn them?
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, it might have been like a one-time buy, never wear again sort of.
No. Well, no one has to. Well, because Luna's destroyed all my other slides because she just likes to destroy things. So that's why I needed a pair. But yeah. Bali was nuts. Because we're gonna film a podcast in Bali because we're like, we'll climb one of these treehouse things and like set it all up, and we're gonna do all that, and then
it was very taxing. Like
it was a very exhausting experience there. Like I think if I were to give any kind of constructive feedback about it, it would just to have like half a day in the middle off. Yeah. Just to like relax a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I had to like force my way into that because once I like finally tapped in and had like my first proper experience of mediumship, after it I was cooked, completely cooked.
Yeah.
So I had to like force my own time off after that and not go to one of the things because it was very mentally taxing.
Because I think one of the things I wasn't experiencing. I mean, I guess I was expecting it, but not as much as it did happen. Is I didn't expect to like want to talk to everyone so much. Like just connecting with all the people there, that was kind of unexpected. Because we'd be in class and we'd be doing stuff, but then like most of the time I was like, I really want to catch up with I want to catch up with Hendrik, or like, someone who like we really connected with and hung out with. Because they just had such like unique perspectives. And it was just, I just kind of like wanted more time to kind of almost socialize in a little bit, because you're there with 100 other people who are thinking on the same wavelength as yourself, or like more experienced in this thing that you're trying to do. But and then going on excursions, and then like you have to go to bed, and then you're like up for breakfast, and you got to like do this, and then like the trance dance and the table. It was nuts. Like it was out of control.
One of the best parts was being around 100 people with the same like passions and mindset.
It was nuts, man.
Like everyone you spoke to, you'd be in conversations of energy and just all those conversations, and it was so refreshing just to be around that many people for a whole week. It was so nice, man.
Not having to what's the word for it, like think smaller to communicate,
like,
you know what I mean?
You could back to speak human.
Like you could it was commonplace to talk about energy and aliens, and I mean everyone likes to talk about aliens now, but like you could just talk about all the cool shit that we like to talk about, and not feel like we have to explain further for them to kind of catch on to it, you know what I mean? Like everyone was like, yes, like we have been doing this as well, like for a while.
That's so nice, dude.
But it was cool. But like, so for those who aren't familiar with what psychic mediumship is, basically like psychic abilities is psychic intuition, a lot of the inner muscles, predicting things, all that kind of stuff. And mediumship is connecting with spirit or bringing through passed away loved ones and such for clients or for whoever. So this was basically like a masterclass retreat that went for 5 days, teaching all levels of mediums how to further develop their skills and just do all that kind of stuff. But so personally, I've been on kind of like the psychic train for a little bit longer than I have with everything else. But mediumship I've been doing for about a year, so I was already familiar with how it works. But because you and Eliza, you guys had no experience with this prior, did you?
Nothing.
And you just rocked up.
Yeah. It was kind of good. So like we're open-minded, obviously, to go into something like that with like no experience. But it was good how they set it up. So they had. I was in Diane's class.
And shout out to Diane.
Yeah.
Real quick. Diane's the best.
She was really good. And so when we first got there, they obviously got us to sign that waiver, sort of like asking your experience, what you've done, and all that sort of thing. I just signed like none, and so did my partner. But we all sort of got bundled into one class where it was like completely brand new people. There was some that had tampered a little bit, but mostly brand new. So it was nice, being around people that were at the same sort of experience as myself. Whereas there was no like judgment between you were trying to connect to spirit, nothing comes through, it happens. But like it was happening to sort of everyone. But the way Diane taught, she was so good. The way she would explain in depth like what you're trying to do, how to pick it apart, like even if it's the smallest thing, trust yourself, go for it. And by the end of the 5 days, we were shocked like how much we could actually do. The power's within all of us.
It's nuts.
But once you don't really know it until you put your focus on it, and within 5 days we were giving out readings to people and getting them correct too. It was pretty cool.
I think that's a thing, like something like a very big misconception about mediumship and clairvoyancy and like psychic intuition and stuff is that it's often been presented as like, oh, you have this gift, whereas that's not the case of it. It's a muscle that you just learn to develop. But it's crazy, man. Like when like there's really nothing like it. And like there's like, how do you even explain it? Like it's almost, It's almost like an act of God in some way. You know what I mean? Like it's things that scientifically are proven to not be real, but you experience them for yourself and you get the validation. You bring through evidence, and people are like, no, yes, like you are. Like, you know, like when you do a reading for someone and they're crying.
Yeah.
You just like, you can't deny something like that. It's like, okay, there is a lot more to this realm, but we're just not focused on it.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like I'm really, I think like going back to, like not to like kind of go back to like all the lockdowns and everything that happened, but I think that was very good because it shook society up so much that spirituality and all this kind of stuff is becoming a lot more accepted now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I know people who have previously like watched Desperate Housewives and Channel 7 News and all this kind of stuff, and they're like open to the idea of trying like psilocybin mushrooms for, you know, like microdosing for, you know, all the antidepressant type effects for them and stuff. And it's like, never would you have ever imagined anyone of that genre like being interested in anything alternative.
Yeah, I'm living proof. I was the exact same, before COVID.
Yeah, right.
I was watching news and everything and believing what was getting thrown out to me, and then something didn't feel right, and then next you know, I'm here talking to you about spirituality. In
No,
the very short version, that is.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I mean, like, I guess this would be a good segue to go into like spiritual concepts in your website that you're creating.
Yep.
So basically, from what I understand, you've basically created I guess like a community where on your website you can host advertisements for different spiritual workers to, I guess, like get work through what you do. But I'll let you kind of explain it better because you're the one who made it.
I guess I'll go back to like.
Yeah, and how'd you came up with the idea?
Come into it. So like, I started getting into spirituality maybe 3 years ago. Yeah, about right just after COVID had finished, and then I got introduced to spirituality, and through if I'm going way back, but we'll get to the website.
We've got time.
Got asked to. I got shown a book called Five Lives Remembered by Dolores Cannon.
Oh, yep.
And my friend was like, you gotta check out this book. It's bloody unreal. And I'm like, you know what? I'll have a listen to it on Audible. And essentially, what it is, so Dolores Cannon was a past life hypnotist, but she didn't start that way. She was just a hypnotist. So she used to do things for like people to quit smoking or go to early life traumas and try and like heal them and stuff. And she had this client, and spontaneously she wanted to take this client back to an early life trauma, but the client spontaneously went to a past life, and then she started speaking in a different
voice kind of
different what's that word, accent.
Yeah,
she started speaking in an English accent, and then Dolores was like, what the hell? And she started pretty much reliving this life that wasn't hers. And then so Dolores sort of went with that, and then sort of went, well, can we go back further? And then she goes back further, then this chick changes again, and then to 5 different lives they ended up going through, hence the name Five Lives Remembered. And then that just opened up a whole can of fish. I'm like, okay, so I'm going from like really nothing in the sense of spirituality to like, and just working my plumber life, doing what I thought had to be like done, to getting that thrown in my face of like, okay, so we live multiple lives. But then good thing about the Dolores Cannon books, they slowly progress further and further and further into deeper concepts of spirituality. So after the 5 Lives Remembered, the next book is Between Death and Life. And what she did was, she's like, well, if I can take people to past lives, what happens if I take them to where they were dead between lives? And that was the introduction of the spirit realm and all that sort of stuff. Cool. And then it just progresses further and further and further to like people going to past lives of how the pyramids were built. Everything. So it was really, really awesome. And then once I got through all of her 19 books and my world had been completely flipped on its head. I was like, well, shit. Like,
Yeah.
here I am. I'm just a plumber, and I really started to like get second guess what I was doing with myself. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, I've come to this earth and I'm clearly contracted to do something, but like
Not plumbing.
Yeah, and no, it's not plumbing. I know that. But yeah, so that's probably the hardest part, I reckon, when you discover this like realm is you sort of naturally start to put pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
To like, it's like, well, what am I doing? I haven't done anything yet. I need to do something,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And anyway, so that turned into, so my passion became into spirituality big time. I just absolutely loved it.
Mm.
And I was like, yo, you know what? I'm going to start posting videos on Instagram.
Yeah.
Anything that comes through, I'll post on Instagram. So I like deleted my Instagram with all my old shit and just started posting videos. And after that, it started getting traction. Like, people were loving the videos I was posting, and I was like, all right, well, this is going somewhere. It's really cool. And the people that were following me were obviously in the realm of spirituality, and then I started getting followers of like mediums and
Yeah, cool.
hypnotists and all that sort of thing that would follow my videos, and then that sort of snowballed into, well, what can I do to like help out these people? I've got a lot of people on this Instagram. What can I do with it? Sort of thing. Then the people I was seeing, they were doing some awesome work, but they like had like say 200 followers or whatever, and then like weren't getting too far with their work. And I was like, well, maybe through the people on my Instagram, I can help them to get some more like traction. Yeah. Sort of thing. So yeah, I created that website called spiritualconcepts.com.au. On it, it's got pretty much every modality of spirituality you can think of, whether it's like yoga, it's got sound healing, meditation, all these different sections. And the idea is to have like a one-stop space for people. If people are looking for some sort of healing, they can go to Spiritual Concepts. It's got all these different things, and so it helps it make it easy for people looking for healing, but it also helps the practitioner as well. So it's like it's like a win-win.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
because like when you sent me your Instagram, I was like, oh, this is cool. And you're like, yeah, he's been making this website, and I was like, oh, like that's it's sick. Like, such a cool idea. Did you find that, like, were there, like, when you were growing the Instagram, were you using like particular hashtags and all that to connect with people, or people just like?
It was very organic, man.
Yeah.
Like, it was super organic. I had a little phase where I was like putting in hashtags, and I was like worried about the followers and all that sort of shit. And then I started to sway a little bit away of what I really wanted to do. Like, the whole idea of me posting the videos, I wanted to help the world open up their mind to spirituality. That was the whole intention behind it, was that like if I posted a video and just got one person that would be like, that's interesting, sort of thing. That was the idea. So I did start doing like the hashtags and all that sort of stuff, and then I was like, no, this is going to a personal gain behind sort of thing. And then I stopped doing that. I was like, you know what, just keep to it. If I like something, I'll post it.
Sick.
And see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a very organically, what's the word? Unplanned sort of thing, but it's been good, bro. It's been good.
Yeah. And I think that's it, like going back to what you were saying about how, you know, when you become aware of everything and all of a sudden you like feel this pressure. I think it's just like a natural thing when you connect. Well, I guess at the end of the day, like when you get into spirituality, you're really just connecting with yourself. And like once you feel that connection and you're like, oh, I like this. Like your soul's kind of like, we've been trying to get you to here for a while.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, let's keep going. And I think that, even for me, man, like my brain is pretty crazy. Like I really struggle to like relax and settle down, but it's, you know, at times it can feel like it's a bit of a curse, but at the same time, I know it's because I'm surrounding myself with things that I'm excited about, that bring me a lot of fulfillment and I have passion toward. And I think it's just naturally what your soul will make you do. Like when you discover the thing that you're passionate about, where again, like what you're doing is coming from a place of like selflessness as well, where you're looking to actually help the people around you. And like at the end of the day, that's really the ultimate form of abundance. You know, like the drive will never leave you because of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a good place to be as well, because I think like the thing that I kind of discovered from my journey is that it really just like, in my opinion, it comes down to self-love. Like the more you're able to love yourself, the larger your capacity to share that with people around you is.
Well, yeah, that's very true, dude. You can't like, how can you give love when you don't hold love for yourself? It's near impossible. And if you try to, it'll be some sort of like tampered energy if you try to do that.
Yeah, well, because and that's the thing. Like you can only understand someone else to the extent of which you understand yourself as well. So I always say to people that like the greatest way, because I get a few people every now and then kind of asking me, or like they'll be frustrated about one of their friends, where like, oh my God, like I have these friends and they just like won't get their act together and they don't listen to me, and like just this frustration thing. And I'm like, literally the best thing that you can do for yourself and everyone around you is to like focus solely on yourself. Like don't, again, like you can only lead a horse to water, but people have to experience things for themselves. They have to go through the experience themselves so they can learn it. You can't teach them something that they're not willing to learn for themselves. So it's like the best thing that you can do is simply focus on yourself, lead by example, and those who are ready to level up or advance themselves will take your lead as a sign to work on themselves. And those who aren't ready, they're going to probably drop off, and they're probably going to speak poorly about you to the rest of the people who you don't need anymore. But that's kind of like the whole thing with growth. Like you outgrow people, and then you meet new people who are at that level. And again, like I've become so like discerning and like, what's the word for it, particular with who I hang out with now. Because for the longest time, I'd, if someone was kind of slightly on the same wavelength as me or something like that, or interested in certain things, I'd like spend lots of time with them. But like these days, now that I have such a like specific vision of where I'm trying to get to, like the only people I'm spending my time with are like people who I have these conversations with now. Because it's time to get the work done. It's time to try and make the biggest impact possible, and I want to be surrounded by other people who are only interested in doing that as well. And I think that's an important thing to learn too, is that it's okay to not, it's okay to like not want to hang out with the people you used to hang out with. If they don't share the same values. Because I used to have a lot of friends who, they were my friends, but on the weekends, they're drinking, they're grabbing a bag, they're staying up till God knows what time of the morning. That just in my opinion, quite degenerate behavior, just like self-sabotaging, really, just taking drugs, spending all their money on stupid shit, forming unhealthy relationships with people based upon drug use and just all that kind of stuff. And when I was less sure of myself, and because everyone kind of requires validation to some degree and wants to feel wanted by other people, but I always found that there was only so far I could go with these people before I just wasn't connecting with them. Or again, like I wouldn't be able to go to a psychic mediumship retreat and come back and tell them about what I experienced. I couldn't tell them about the fucking table tipping saga. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean?
I'm trying to explain that.
Like you just simply couldn't. You just, again, you go back and you say, I went to a holistic retreat where I just got massages and meditated. You know what I mean?
Like dumbing that down. I found because I was in that scene as well, like the whole drinking bags everywhere,
partying,
stuff as well. But as I've slowly dropped off. Mostly, I still have a little bit of a beard now and then. I'm working on it, but I've dropped off that like hard scene, that's for sure. But yeah, just naturally the people that you thought were like your close mates, because you had the similar interest in negatively abusing your body.
But you know, and like, you know, there's heaps of reasons to be friends. Like, you might all like Trailer Park Boys and the Big Les Show or something and connect over that, you know what I mean? But like, there's a point where you get to your late 20s or whatever, and it's like, okay, we need to start making some active decisions toward growing into men here.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. That's going back to what I was saying before when I figured out the spirituality shit. I shouldn't say that. When I figured all this out, and then I had a deep hard look at myself, because I was in that scene of like bags and all that sort of stuff, and I was like, dude, got to stop that. And I have, and then since then, like I've just had like friends naturally fall away to the point like I just don't even speak to them anymore or nothing like that, because our common interest has dissipated. Yeah,
and it's so bizarre to me as well, because I don't drink, but like I wouldn't say it was like a conscious thing. I wasn't like, I'm gonna stop drinking or anything like that. So I'm just making sure Luna can get out. 1 second. Can you get out, pup? Just so she doesn't decide to just... There you go. At you. Sorry. What was I saying? I can't even fucking remember now. Drinking. Yeah, so I never really was into drinking. Also, I might get you a different glass, because I just realised that's dirty as fuck with like orange juice in it. My bad, dude. But yeah, sorry. So yeah, when it came to drinking, like I never really enjoyed drinking. Like I never enjoyed the taste of it. Like it was fun, you know, back in when I was 18, 19, like early 20s, I'd go out clubbing and drinking and stuff, but I never like really enjoyed it too much. And yeah, there was just like this time where I don't know what I was doing, but I just had this realization where I was like, oh, I haven't drank alcohol for like 2 years. And but it wasn't even like...
Yeah, it wasn't a conscious thing.
It wasn't but it wasn't like, it didn't even really feel like an accomplishment to me or anything. It was just like, oh, I just don't enjoy this.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, I remember the last time I properly drank, and that was, went out to St Kilda with one of my mates, and like got annihilated. Like back then I was like real skinny as well, and I think I remember drinking like 13 margaritas, having like heaps of beer, like shots, just fully sending it with one of my mates, and ended up like throwing up everywhere. Like felt like I had like alcohol poisoning in the morning. It was like a 40-degree day the following day. I had to ride my motorbike home. I was nearly throwing up in the helmet and shit. And I was like, what am I fucking doing? Like, this sucks, man. And like, can barely even remember the night. I remember went to some bar and we're playing Mario Kart, and I came last, and I was driving backwards, and I just could not even like, couldn't do anything. And I was like, why do people do this?
Yeah, just completely like.
But that was like 4 years ago, maybe I can't remember, but that was like the last time I ever like drank. Like I think I maybe had like a beer with the boys after work once or twice in the last few years, but that was about it. But fucking bit of a long digression there. But the point I was getting to is that, you know, I meet people now and they're like, oh, do you want to drink? And I was like, oh no, like I don't drink. And they're like, really?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's like that whole.
It's like a shock.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, are you sober? And I'm like, no, I just. You're right, fair enough. They're like, oh, are you sober, or like how long have you been sober? I'm like, no, dude, like I just like do what I want, and I don't do what I don't want.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Luna. Pest of a dog. But and it's the same with everything, you know. Like I'm pretty fortunate in the fact that you know, like for example, like we go to Bali, chain smoke cigarettes for a week. Like I come back and I don't have a single desire to smoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's impressive.
yeah, like I have a very powerful skill in being able to just not get addicted to things.
Yeah.
But like going into that as well, like if we were to talk about addiction, like in my opinion, actually quite a few people talk about this, but in my opinion, like I don't really believe in addiction in that sense. I think that what you'll be addicted to is dependent on what you do with your life. And, you know, back when I was a virgin sitting there playing video games and fucking just consuming sugar all the time, you know, my life was very boring. It was very like low vibration kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, going out and taking MD on the weekend and drinking and stuff, that was very stimulating. Or like, you know, binge watching a TV show was like stimulating. It was exciting because it was more exciting than what I was doing with my life. Or playing video games was exciting. And you do all these things via proxy, or even like trying to get laid and all that kind of shit. Like just having meaningless connections because you get that fucking dopamine rush. It was still better than what I had.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, I had one of those moments where I just realized that, you know, it was kind of like if I could live my life any way I wanted, like what would I do? And I like wrote down this whole thing, and I was like, yeah, I want to like climb trees and do spiritual stuff and play music and like do martial arts and, you know, have my dogs and all this kind of stuff. And now that I have that life, you know, I have multiple things. Like I have this podcast, I have my career, I have, you know, the band that I have like, you know, creating like the online content and stuff that I do. Like I have all of these projects that are extremely fulfilling and soul nourishing to me, that now, you know, my vibrational frequency has elevated so much, and it's like, okay, like watching a TV show, you know, is less exciting to me than what I'm actually doing in my actual life.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I, for example, like with music and everything, there's like, it might sound vain, but you need to be marketable. So, you know, the best artists of our time typically are like very attractive people who have a very good aesthetic. So it's like, okay, if I want to like create music and I want to market myself, I have to look good, I have to exercise, I have to take care of myself, because it's all contributing to the success rate that I'm going to have with it. So for me, it's like, okay, what's more important to me, going out and taking drugs on the weekend, or eating really well, getting up and hitting the gym and practicing my instrument and putting it into that? Because I know that one thing has a long-term result to it that makes me feel good about myself and I'm excited about it. And one of those things is fun for one night, and then I feel like shit, and then I just feel depressed because I've just wasted 3 or 4 days of having to come down and losing weight, not eating properly, losing gain. Like, you know, like it's one of those things. So I think that, you know, you'll find that the people who are most heavily addicted to substances and any vices, they're the people who have the least amount of soul nourishing activity going on in their life.
Big time, man. If you want a proper dopamine hit, once you find a passion,
oh yeah, man,
then that is the biggest dopamine you can get. And like, yeah, you touched on it really well. Like, once you start and like find that passion, it's addicting. And but it's addicting in the best ways.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, yeah, and I can understand what you mean when people find those addictions to those low vibrational things like drugs and all that sort of thing, is because they are acting in that way, like acting in that manner and looking for that high of life
and
that
something
you can get from passions.
And something to like quickly point out as well is that like so many people, like I think the main struggle, and like if there's one thing for anyone to learn about anything, like I think there's like the two most important characteristics to ever develop are humility and integrity. And like integrity being doing the right thing by everyone around you, even when you can get away with not doing it, or when there's no personal gain for yourself.
Yep.
And humility being the ability to look at yourself and be like, not proud of where you're at, and to be able to confront yourself with your flaws, because I think that's where a lot of addiction really comes from. It's people, they believe that they have it worse off than others, or that for some reason their circumstances are, they're the only ones who have had a hard life. And because of that, they turn to drugs, and they kind of, they blame. It's like a cycle where they're like, they use drugs because they've been through all this kind of stuff, but they don't realize that it's the drug use and the drinking and the smoking and all this kind of stuff that's contributing to their poor mental health and their poor physical health, and that in turn is making them rely on substances because they're trying to distract themselves from feeling depressed or anxious because they're not doing anything to fulfill themselves.
Yeah.
And it's having that humility to like really look at yourself in the mirror and just say like, no, I need to get my fucking act together, and I need to take accountability for where I'm at in my life, because you can make anything of your life. Like you're literally creating your own reality for yourself with the actions and the thoughts and the things that you do. Like everyone has the ability to heal themselves and to get themselves to a better place. It's just having that courage to actually do it. And it's not easy because, like this and like spirituality, I think like another gripe that I have with it is it's like it's almost turned into its own religion in a way now. I think would almost be a way to put it. There's like religion now, and then there's science, and then there's like new age spirituality, and it's like it's become this umbrella term where there is a lot of poor advice involved with it.
Yeah.
In my opinion as well, there is like it's becoming popular and it's evolving into this thing that doesn't really have many parameters or boundaries. It's just we're expressing ourselves and we're the universe experiencing itself, and therefore we don't need accountability. And there's a lack of accountability that's involved with it, and that's why there's now become like this preconceived idea of what spirituality is to people now, and I think that turns people off it as well, which is what I don't like. Whereas for me, like whenever I explain spirituality to people, to me is I kind of sum it down to like let's take the word spirituality. Like what is it? It's a compound of like it's a compound of the spirit. And like if you ask like what is the spirit is essentially like that non-physical energy that resides within us. Like it's our spirit, and you could I guess like the best way to relate the spirit to what we are is it's our soul. So really, like when I talk about spirituality, I'm talking about like the pursuit of the spirit, the pursuit of the soul, the pursuit of the self. And once you understand what the self is, what you are, not just who you are, but what you are, where we come from, what our heritage is, how we come into this life, which is through reincarnation, which means we have a higher self, which is connected to our higher entity related to our entire reincarnational cycle, which is then connected to even more advanced portions of consciousness. That's the way to get into it. It's through the self. It's not by looking at astrology and this and this and this and this. And like,
which does have its place. But
it absolutely has its place, but that's not the place to start.
Yeah.
Because again, there are so many people who, I'm a Leo with rising Cancer moon, like whatever it is. I don't know much.
Yeah, and that sets me in my set.
And that means that I'm this. And then they're like, and I'm this personality type, and I'm INFJ or whatever. Like just they love putting labels on shit, and the moment you put a label on yourself, you have limited yourself completely.
Yeah, you can't.
You've completely limited yourself, and so that's kind of again like the whole reason that I created this podcast is because it's I wanted to create a space where we can literally like question any topic and every topic, because again, like I don't believe that you should stop ever questioning anything. Like figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
Because like there's we listen to so many people and philosophers and all this kind of stuff, but it's like they are no more authorized to talk about life experience than yourself, because you are experiencing your life. You know what I mean? It's the moment you start taking power for yourself and you start taking accountability and you start figuring things out for yourself and seeing how you want to live your life and expressing that individuality, that's when you're going to have the best results, and that's when you're going to attract the best people, that's when you're going to learn the best things, and that's when you're going to succeed at your passions and have a really enjoyable life.
Yeah, that's where the labels are like bad with spirituality, because you can't put a label on personal experience and personal development.
Yeah.
And that's what spirituality is what you said, the soul that's inside you that wants to experience a certain experience. So you can't label that as anything because everyone's experience is going to be vastly different. But the whole like movement of it though, it is positive. Like it's definitely
it's a net positive thing.
It's
Absolutely,
a positive thing. But then there's like there's the little bit of negative side. But everyone's so new to it as well.
That's
so
it.
There is gonna be like polarity between people's opinions of it and whatnot. But in the overall, I think the movement of the spirituality is a very good thing. And the more people that can jump on and work themselves out, the better off we are.
And something as well is that like even recently, like I've seen a lot of like we would be millennials, wouldn't we? I don't fucking know. I don't know the generational thing. Okay, yeah, straight up. But let's start. I went to describe an age gap generation basically. But you know, it's good seeing people say like 25 to 35. Like I'm even seeing like a big rise in like Christianity as well, and even that like I think that's cool.
There's nothing wrong with
because it's I mean, and this is obviously more predominant in America because it's a massively Christian country.
Yeah.
Here we kind of, I don't know, it was weird. Australia kind of multicultural, I guess.
In between.
Yeah. But, you know, I have a lot of friends who have like turned to Christ and, you know, they're all like always posting like Christ is King and posting like stuff from the Bible and shit. And I'm like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's really cool. I think it's great that they've found the thing that makes sense to them and has helped them develop a better moral guideline. It's given them a compass of where they wish to where they wish to go and how they wish to treat others. And they've found a really healthy community.
Yeah.
And I think that's like amazing.
Yeah.
Like personally, like obviously I have my own beliefs of God and spirituality that some of it align with Christianity, some of it doesn't. Like it aligns with all the religions, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like spirituality, sort of, it like in every single religion there is something that aligns with what we believe.
Well,
I think you can pick it apart, and every story is correct, but it's just been distorted.
Well, the way,
to a way of power and control of like.
Yeah, well, the way.
And devil and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, like the way I've always looked at it is that, like, to me, because you know, it's obviously you look at each of the main world religions, and you can quite clearly see that it's most of them it's all the same story, it's all the same message. It's just been given, it's been curated in a way that would apply to the values and the morals of the people of that culture that it was presented to. And so in my opinion, it's like religion, whether it be like Christianity or like Hinduism or Buddhism or anything, they're all like, it's all spirituality, but they're all templates of spirituality or blueprints of spirituality that apply to a mass amount of people. It's like, here's the base guidelines of this that you can understand and how to go about it. But I don't believe, and I'm sure, like, I haven't studied any of like the world religions books or anything like that, but I can guarantee that in each of them you'll find an abundance of messages saying that we are all as powerful as one another, we're all creators, and that we are all capable of achieving more, and to never just agree with what's going on. Like, always question stuff, try to develop yourself further and understand this world to help expand yourself and expand it. Because the more we grow, the more we're able to project that. I mean, like, for example, I read a thing recently where they were saying that they were like I think they compared so how much fire advanced the human race. I think they were saying YouTube alone has done that almost more
than fire itself,
because of because we have access to the best of everyone at everything at any time, and can learn from the best just by going on our phone.
Yeah, well, you're pretty much like a cyborg because you've got the knowledge of everything and everyone in your pocket at all times. So like,
So
that
it's
is such a gift, but it can be the opposite as well if
Yeah.
you're looking into the wrong stuff.
and so like with that, it's very much like the more we develop, and again, like with with what you're doing with spiritual concepts, like with what I'm doing with this and everything that like we all do, when you figure out something that something else hasn't figured out and you put that out there, you're actually elevating the consciousness of everyone else in the world, because you're helping them advance in one particular avenue of development. So it's like, you'd be foolish to just abide to a religious book because it's been around for 2,000 years or however long. Like, we've advanced further than whatever it was at the development at that point in time. So I don't know how I kind of got to here in the conversation, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, but you know what I mean? It's like, question everything, figure it out for yourself. And like I don't like to say negative things or to dismiss other people, but when it comes to, I'm just gonna use like Christianity as an example, that book was not written by Jesus or God. It was written by, I think, 70 plus, like, of course, like anointed, like, like priests, whoever it was.
Yeah, his followers. Apparently.
Yeah, but the integrity of that material is not canon. Like, you can't prove that these are the words of the Son of God. It's a story written about him by multiple other people that has changed over the course of time. But not only that, there is nothing greater about these people than yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
that was the whole message behind Jesus in the first place, was that, like, kingdom is within you. Like, you can do what I'm doing. I'm showing you how to do it, but it's been distorted.
Yeah, we are all flesh and blood. We are all consciousness, and we all have the ability to advance further than one another. And that's the thing I don't like about it. It's like, and again, of course, like, religion is a great thing. It's a great template for spirituality, but it is limiting if you wish to remain under that umbrella and stay within its confines and within its rules. Because I even know people who, I'll show them like certain music and they're like, oh no, I won't listen to that because of my religion, or like, and stuff like that. It's like, why? Like, why?
Like it's tapped in with the devil or blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
but it's like, you're preventing yourself from experiencing something really unique and really creative that could inspire you in a certain way, and it's ultimately out of fear of something.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of it's like a fear-based push in it as well. Like the whole, if you sin, you'll go to hell and all that sort of stuff. Like, like you said before, I'm in the same. Like, I love it. I love when people have a faith in something, because it's a nice thing to do to have faith. Whether my opinion is right or wrong about it doesn't matter. The faith is great. But what I believe is anything that pushes a fear-based like agenda inside of anything is incorrect to me. Yeah. But each to their own.
No, 100%. And again, just like to touch on it, like, I think the best way I'd ever like describe the different religions is that they're all like, they all have their truths, but they're distorted truths. Yeah. So it's like there's a grander truth to what they're trying to explain, and the way that we're interpreting it can be misconstrued. And as well, like, there were, a long time ago, there were, like, we lost the art of, I don't know what they called them, but like the monks or like the people who worked like in the religious field that were actually trained in writing and deciphering words and sentences and stuff, because scribes, I believe, because when it comes to the Bible and everything, like, it was actually written in a way where there was certain hidden languages in there to do with the way that the letters were actually written and the words were phrased and stuff like that, and there were certain grammatical things they could put in there that would imply whether something is metaphorical or literal, or whether it's even to be taken seriously whatsoever. So the whole thing was actually like a labyrinth of information that there were people who were specifically trained to understand how to read it and how to write it, which we don't have anymore. So we've got all of this information, but we don't actually know how to translate it with 100% accuracy for how it was actually written back in the time. It's like the same as, say, like the hieroglyphs. You know what I mean? Like that was a language of itself, which we don't quite understand how to translate anymore.
Yeah, and even like the slightest, I saw one the other day. I was trying to think of it while you were talking then, but in terms of translating, like, if you get one little sort of word wrong, the translation of the meaning can be completely flipped the wrong way.
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to think of what it was, man, but something to do with like the Jesus and the kingdom is within you, but one word was flipped the wrong way and made it an external meaning instead sort of thing. So there's a lot of pressure on the people that are trying to like describe these things. Like, have you heard about all the like the tablets of Thoth and stuff like that?
I've heard of like the Dead Sea Scrolls or whatever, but not the tablets of whatever you just said.
Thoth.
Thoth.
One of the two. Yeah, like it's the same sort of thing. So there's these emerald tablets that had been inscribed with writing unknown to anyone, and people have tried to decipher them and stuff. And there's a dude named Billy Carson. Have you heard of him?
No, I haven't.
He's like spent his whole life on sort of he doesn't decipher them himself, but he's like studied what they're all about, and it explains a pretty wild story about our past. It's super cool. I can get into it if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
What? And this was confirmed, funnily enough, this is like inside of the Dolores Cannon books as well.
Oh, cool.
But then it's been like reconfirmed for me through this Billy Carson dude and then other things. But here's the story in these tablets. Essentially, and in the Dolores Cannon books as well. So, Earth originally had been first intergalactically discovered by a race called the Draconians.
Okay.
AKA the reptilians.
Yep.
Which we've all heard mumbo jumbo about mostly. But I believe that all myths and stuff come from somewhere. So, anyways, this is the story. Inhabited by the Draconians at first. They had found Earth and lived here. What had happened, the Anunnaki had just escaped from a war on Orion and were looking for refuge, and they found Earth, and the Anunnaki were highly developed in terms of DNA altering and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So they wanted to come to Earth, and as well, their technology, Their technology really needed the use of gold.
Okay, yeah.
There's better words for that, but anyway, they needed gold. So they came to Earth, but the Draconians didn't want them there, but they wanted the gold. So they made a deal with the Draconians. Look, we're good with making races. We'll use the hominids on your planet and mix it with the DNA of each other to make a slave race. They'll help us mine the gold because the Draconians didn't have any use for gold. This slave race will help us mine the gold temporarily, and then when we're finished, we will leave and you can keep the slave race.
Okay.
And that's the story that's sort of been laid down of the start of humanity. So they used... gets wild, but who cares? We're in a good we're in a good space.
We're in a safe space to talk about these things.
So they essentially, the hominids that they used are what we know now as like Bigfoot.
Okay.
So they are like humans naturally occurring formation, sort of where we would have ended up. Anyways, so they mixed and matched the DNA of those hominids and themselves and created essentially humans. But this is an action that is very like frowned upon within the universe. So you've got the Galactic Federation that monitors all this sort of stuff, and to see if like, because if you can't really create just a slave race,
Yeah.
there's like
There's rules.
yeah, there's a few rules about that sort of shit. So anyway, the Galactic Federation had found out that what had happened and what they had created. So they made tests themselves of us, and we have like this perfect sort of mix of high vibrational DNA and low vibrational DNA of like the Draconians. And apparently there was this prophecy of a race that would not be born but made of a mixture of high vibration and low vibration, and this race was prophesized to change the universe, because in the end they would find the light within them, and they could teach the rest of the universe of polarity that you can choose the light with the deep darkness that's within us. So once the Galactic Federation sort of did tests on us and found that out, they were like, okay, we need to let this race naturally form. Told the Draconians, we're going to let these guys sort of naturally work it out. You're going to have to leave. The Draconians didn't want to leave. So a deal was struck where they could go and live inside of the Earth and have no direct influence on us, but they could stay on Earth, but you cannot have a direct influence. And since then, we have naturally let us form, but they've sort of tampered with that contract of direct influence. We can have indirect influence, and hence like the hierarchy of like what's going on still to this day of that indirect influence where we can't really see them. But and it just talks about the tablets talk about this whole story of this all going down, and that was like the history of humanity and how we were made.
How we came to be.
Which was genetic engineering.
And so, like, with those tablets, are they... So that just kind of, like, end at the beginning, kind of, so to speak?
How do you mean?
Like, that, like, in terms of timeline, where did the tablets finish?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is it, like, is it a prophecy, or is it more of a, like...
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know what I mean?
I know more about what the Dolores side had. That was more where that story had derived from. I don't know too much like about the actual tablets themselves of what they are, but I know that that's what the story of the tablets are. I don't know huge information on exactly like the start, finish, and all that sort of stuff, but that is kind of a mixture of the story between different sources.
Yeah. That's fascinating. Like it's... Yeah, I mean, bro, like I've seen a lot of shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I've seen things arguably crazier than that story. So like, shit. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
you know,
about as crazy I can give you.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, like
just I'm open to it, man. Like,
I'm at the point where I'm like, yeah, sure, man. Like, let's go.
Like, you know, like, I'll listen.
Like,
take what you want from
anything. Like I'm not going to like say anything on the podcast, otherwise I could probably just like destroy all credibility that I have for myself and like everything that I think. But yeah, I've had some pretty wild experiences in my time. Which have really shown me that anything is possible. Which, like, again, good segue that leads me back to the table tipping saga, because this is something that I've definitely wanted to talk about. Because, everyone's like, what did you do at the retreat? And I'm like, I went to a water temple. I met a water priest. He was cool. Did some sound healing. And can't really discuss the rest of it because you'll think I'm crazy.
Pretty much.
So, because did you come to the psychic phenomenon, the evidence that
I was there. Watched it all go down. It was so cool.
So with because Tony Stockwell is one of the main leading mediums on the planet for like the last 20 years pretty much, but he was hosting this thing, one of the classes called forensic evidence thing, where you tap into essentially like a murder case kind of thing. But in this, he started well, it was him and Lynn as well, sorry, but he started discussing the concept of table tipping, which, for those who don't know what table tipping is, essentially what it is you'll get a round table, and you can do it with 2 or more people, really.
Yeah.
But you just kind of lay your hands really gently upon the table, or your fingers, and through this, you ask to bring through a spirit to communicate to you with the table, and see if the spirit can like make the table rock or move. It's very similar to how a Ouija board would work. And Tony's telling us about this, and he says that, you know, this one time we had, you know, this time when we did table tipping, and next thing you knew, like, they've got this table, and the table's spinning around the room and moving around, and someone's sitting on the table and it's still moving, like, had a life of its own.
He was saying, like, even they had a person on top of the table and only one person touching it with their hand, and it was still rocking around.
And he's like talking about this table, like, dead set, like, moving around a room. And I was like, yeah, look,
open to it.
I'm ready, but like, this is going to be something that I'm going to have to see to fucking believe. Like, this is pretty far-fetched information that you're sharing with us.
Yeah.
And so, but we were very fortunate, and this is like, the fact that they made a class, like they did a class doing this, is like one of the craziest things. Like, if you think about it, like,
it's pretty cool.
Like, if you think about it, let's put a class together and show 100 people psychic phenomena that disproves fucking physics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a crazy thing. And so we got into this thing, and so there were a few different what would you call them? Not exercises, but a few different activities.
Yeah.
So one of them, we had what were they? FM scanners? Is that what they're called? We had like these radio scanner things, and we had mild success with these. But basically, it's a radio scanner, and you try and communicate with the scanner and see if you can bring a spirit through. And here and there, you'd hear like a voice kind of come through briefly, but it wasn't really enough to make me go, "Oh yeah, this is it."
It was very like scattered.
Yeah,
I was
and
saying like sometimes you can get like full conversations with the spirit, but we got nothing like that. We got like a couple of names, a couple of this and that,
but it could also
crazy.
But it also could have been just interpreted for it actually picking up a fucking radio station or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So like, if anyone doesn't know, like what this machine does, it quickly flicks through like radio stations. So it'll go like and just flick through at like a really fast pace.
It just sounds like static. It's like
yeah.
And then
but
none of us succeeded with that. And then there was another one where it was a table like this, but there was just a big piece of paper on it, which we had like the Ouija board letters and everything on. And we had like a shot glass, and everyone would touch the shot glass, and you'd ask questions, and all of a sudden you feel the shot glass moving and stuff. And that was really cool, but I don't think anyone really got like a proper coherent answer for any of the questions out of it. Like, we got like a yes and a no, but I remember we asked a question and it kept going H-A, H-A, and it kept laughing. And we were like, oh, this is kind of like I could feel it moving, but you've also got 8 different people touching a small glass. So it was
like sometimes it was like 12 fingers on there, and a lot of it I feel like, I don't know, it was hit and miss. Because some of it was like going ha ha ha, but it like felt repetitive because everyone was doing it, sort of thing.
But then then we went to the table tipping. I was like, all right, let's try this table tipping thing, and because I don't know, what was your experience with the table tipping? Because we weren't together for this.
Nah, so we got a table. It would have been like a huge, heavy, old school, like 50 kilo flat square table.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky with that.
That table didn't budge a single little bit, but as we started looking around, it started getting wild.
It was crazy, man. So with my experience, I was on one table that was at the corner, and there was a round one, and I think it's tricky as well because we'd never done it. Like, now that I know that it's possible, I'm like, oh, I could probably do this on my own because I'd be so determined to get it to happen, and I'd know how to channel that energy. But when you're still like skeptical of it being possible, you're like,
And you're also in the scope of other people being skeptical as well. That can ruin that
Yeah.
energy.
And so with mine, like we had this table and there were like, I think 6 of us. And I was like, all right, let's do it. But like the way that this works is like the more excited you are and the more like stoked you are and like putting this energy in, the more it'll work. So when you're skeptical about this and you're like, oh, this isn't really working, you know, you're like, couldn't at the time, you know, it's like, it's difficult to get that energy. But so I was at a table and there were a few of us and we're like, all right, let's get the spirit through, let's go. And like we've all got our hands on it and the table would like kind of rock a little bit, but you're still like, this could just be us. Like, I don't know, like I'm not too sure. And I kind of got bored of doing that shortly because I was like, this isn't really working. And then, yeah, went up to another one and saw that they were getting like a lot more movement. And they were really excited. I was like, okay, like still skeptical because like I can see they're kind of moving their hands and stuff, but like, let's try again. And then like still got like, it was just like a little rock like this happening in it. And I was like, yeah, this isn't happening. But I was like, I still really wanted to like succeed at it. And then I went over to a table and Tony and a bunch of his students were there and they had this table and the table was going like all the way to the side on 2 legs and then all the way back. And they're like, whoa. And you could see like it could still be discounted, but it was like, okay, that's something's happening here. Like it's definitely happening here. And then, next thing you know, there was a group and their table started spinning.
Yeah, that's when it started getting crazy.
That's when it started getting crazy. And this table started spinning and started moving around. And I was like, all right, yeah, no, they're not doing that. Like that's moving on its own. And, you know, all of a sudden you can see them there. There's like, we've got a video of it as well. Like someone posted a video to the WhatsApp of their table and it like, they're with it and the table just goes flying across the room and they all like can't keep up with it. Like it literally goes flying across the room. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, no, that's it. Like I want to succeed at this.
Yeah.
And then went back to my table and who was with it? It was Maisha. There were a bunch of us there. I think there were like 6 or 7 of us.
You were lucky to have that real powerful chick.
And
we could probably talk about her.
Yeah, Maisha. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways.
And so I sat down there and I was like, no, we're getting this fucking table to rock. Like I will not lose at this. And we're trying to get it to move. We're like, come on. And it's just like not happening. And I was like, fuck this. I was like, I will not be defeated. I'm like, everyone off. Pick the table up, like walk it to the middle of the room. And I'm like, we're doing it here. We're in the middle of the room. This is where all the energy is concentrated. Let's get this thing fucking happening. And so
pretty quick
so we're
that.
yeah, it happened very fucking quickly after that. So then we're like, all right, come on, and you could feel it coming through. Like, yeah, we're coming through. Come on, like we could feel ya. Who's there? Come on. And we spent like probably 2 minutes trying to get it to move, and it was like kind of moving. And we're like, come on, and we're like, everyone stand up. So we're all standing up. We're like, let's do it, let's go. And I'm like, can you spin for us? Can you spin? And then like 3 seconds goes past and it just starts spinning, and we're like, oh shit, and we're like holding on to it. Then it just starts getting out of control, like it's fucking moving. Next thing you know, the table like tripped over the carpet. like tripped over the carpet. We're all trying to keep up with it, and you could see like we literally just had our
like you can't have much control when you're running around and trying to like
like you were, you know, it was one of those things. Like the entire time I was like trying to have less contact with it, just to see. And then next thing we know, the fucking table starts floating in the air.
You just all like,
it's like this table's floating through there. We're like, all right, go up. And then like next thing you know, we're fucking touching this thing, and this table's like 6 feet in the air floating. And it's like, what? And then it like comes crashing down, and we're like, holy shit. Then we like pick it back up, and we're like, holy shit. And then we're all sitting with it. And, you know, and we start saying to them like, oh, you know, is there a spirit there? And it starts rocking. And then next thing you know, we were able to ask it like yes or no questions.
In terms of like...
Yeah, and we'd say, we'd say, we're like, oh, is someone there? And we're all trying to talk. And we're like, oh, no, like we need to establish rules here. Like, let's say, rock the table for yes, make nothing for no. And so we were like, oh, is there a spirit there? And you could feel it. It would, like, the table would rock. And we were like, oh, who are you here for? Are you for Brendan? Are you for da-da-da? Are you for each? And then we got to one woman and the table rocked. And she was like, oh, is it such and such? And it made no noise. He's like, is it Granddad? And then it rocked. And she was able to ask it questions and it would say yes or no back. But not even that. It, like one of the girls asked it, she was, I think, the third or the fourth person talking to it. But her grandfather came through, I believe. And she said, am I making the right decisions to get where I need to get? And the table like stopped and went silent. But you could feel that it wasn't no wasn't the answer. You could feel there was a message coming through, and you could feel that the table's silence was actually like saying, I'm not going to give you the answer. It's like, you need to figure this out for yourself. That's how you're going to get to where you need to. You actually have to like go through the darkness pretty much.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it went from yes or no answers to you could feel the table communicating the message through you. One of the women, her cat came through that had passed away, and the cat was communicating with her. And yeah, each person except for me got to have a go on it. Like, got up to me and everyone's like, all right, time to go. I was like, fuck.
It's pretty amazing that just naturally formed into, like, it was meant to be a table tipping thing, and then next you know, use a
mate, the table was flying through the fucking air, mate. Like, it was like, I was like, yep, all right, yep, I am. Like, that was the thing, man. Like, coming back from that retreat it was like doing 3 back-to-back heroic dose mushroom trips. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but like no drugs involved, no, just pure psychic abilities being enhanced. Yeah. And yeah, for me, like, that table tipping thing was the most powerful thing that happened for me because I'm psychic dominant, so I can like connect with you and feel everything that's going on with you, but bringing through spirits is something that it was a bit more challenging for me. And because, you know, it's like singing, man, the way I like to think of like psychic intuition. It's I can teach you what I have to do, but your throat is its own muscle, it's its own thing. I can tell you what works for me, but you have to figure it out for yourself for you to be able to sing the way that you need to sing, and you have your own style, your own sound. So like with psychic intuition, it's the same thing. Like, people can aid you and guide you doing it, but you have to figure out how to do this for yourself. Yeah. And so
the experience seems to be different for everybody.
Yeah,
well. And I'll go into depth with mine after you're done.
Yeah, so I had a few different things. Like, some people said, you know, I think someone asked Sean where they said, you know, can you explain how you connect? And he's like, okay, like I connect and then I feel a spirit and like I'll feel a hand on my shoulder and then like da-da-da. So then when I started doing readings, I started waiting for that, and all of a sudden my readings were just not happening, struggling super hard, like couldn't get it, and I was like, man, I fucking suck at this. Like, this is kind of like embarrassing. And it was like, I had the pressure on as well, because in my group I was the only guy. So I was like, come on, I gotta be able to do this, like, you know. And but then after the table tipping thing, that changed everything, because when we were doing the table and it was communicating, the message that was coming through was hitting me right here. Like, that's where I could feel what the actual message that the spirit was kind of bring through. And so before coming to the retreat, this was maybe like 2 months ago, I did a reading for a woman, and it was the best reading I've ever done. Got who he was, what he did, how he died, what his name was, like everything. Wow, like nailed it. Yeah. And you know, she was in tears at the end of it, like all that kind of stuff. And that entire reading was here. I could feel it right there. So when the table tipping thing was communicating there, I was like, oh, that's your power. That's where it is. Yeah. And I ended up doing a dem later on. And a dem is basically where you do a reading for a group of people, where you go up and you say what you're receiving and does this connect with anyone, and then people put their hands up to say whether it connects with them or not, and then you can do the reading with them. So I was in Lynn's class for that later on and did a demo. It was only small, like in front of 4 or 5 people. Yeah. But in that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and connect there instead. And it was really cool. I did a reading for I can't even remember now. There's so many names, like trying to remember so many names. But this lady, she was really cool. So she was like a television producer, and yeah, straight away started getting all these symbols and stuff. But I started getting the name C, and I was like, C. It says it's C something, Craig maybe something, and I like brought through. Basically, like when I tapped in, I like saw the ocean. And for me, because everyone has their own symbolism, like the ocean could mean something for you, but for me it means, predominantly it means like emotional, feminine, psychic, like that kind of side of things. Yeah. So straight away I was like, okay, it's a feminine energy, but then I looked into it and I was like, doesn't feel like a female though, it feels like a male. Because like it feels like a male with feminine energy. And then my Uncle Mark, who passed away, he's like one of my spirit guides, he came through and I was like, okay, what's he coming through then for? And I was like, okay, he died at a young age. So I was like, feels like he died younger than he should have, blue eyes, long dark hair. And she's like, yep, I think I know who you've got. And then I was like, I'm getting the letter C something. I was like, is it Craig? And she's like, no, not Craig. And I was like, oh, I don't know, it's C something. And she's like, no, I can take that. And then continued going, ended up got it all. And she ends up going, I was like, what was with the name? And she goes, oh, so when you said C, this was, so the man who passed away was one of my co-producers when we worked with Caesar Milan, the dog trainer. Yeah. And that was the last thing they worked on together before he passed away. Yes, yeah, so like, it's crazy the way that it comes through. Yeah. But again, did that reading, came from here, and it was, she was like tearing up by the end of it. So I was like, cool, like, so everyone has their own location that their energy kind of comes from. Yeah. But yeah.
Diane, I've got a name for a second. Diane talked about like that, where it's like the seat of the soul.
Yeah.
So everyone has like the seat of the soul within your body. So where mine resides, like right at the bottom of my neck.
Okay, right.
That's where my seat is. And yeah, yours obviously resides there as well. Yeah. But talking about like the different ways it comes through, like, yeah, the teachers taught well, but like I found it really difficult in the sense of she was like talking through symbolism and all that sort of thing, but I wouldn't get any, like I wouldn't get any sort of imagery or nothing like that. I would just get feelings, and then like,
but that is it.
But that was my mentality.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, that's what I tried to ask the teacher. I was like, well, what's coming through for me with these readings is, say I get a feeling in the heart, like I can feel my heart like tense up or something. I was like, how do I pick that apart for a reading? Like it's love. Well,
it could be a heart attack, it could be love, it could be heartbreak. Like,
you just gotta work with it, and all that sort of stuff. But like everyone's is just a little bit different. But my readings came through with physical feeling touches. So I had this one. Was doing actually for my partner, and felt this like pressure on the top of my head. I'm like, okay, there's pressure on top of my head, like I let her know, but I'm like, but it's not heavy, it's not negative, it's just, there's just pressure on my head. And then, but while I was doing the reading, like I started like leaning forward and then like hunching. Oh. And I was like, okay, so I'm hunching over right now. I'm like, so it's something to do with a bad back, maybe, or old age sort of hunch. And while I was like explaining that, my hands were doing a movement as well.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, okay, my hands are knitting. They're doing this weird movement. Like this is all just like naturally just happening without, but you just gotta like pick it and then be confident with it. And then Liz goes, well, yeah, her great nan Goldie used to knit herself little hats.
Oh, bullshit.
And she had a bad back, and I was like, well, there you go.
Yeah, I knew it.
That was actually my first successful reading.
Yeah, I'm here all day. That's awesome, man. That's sick.
It just comes through. It just came through differently to me. Everyone was talking about imagery, and I was like, I'm not getting none of that. But what I got was fine. It was just different.
Yeah. And it'll come differently. Like, so Diane's my favorite ever. Like, I fucking love Diane. And she cracks me up because she's kind of cursed that her main form of intuition is taste. So she's like, I remember she's telling me once, she's like, oh yeah, like I taste their body odor, I can taste the oil and the gasoline on the ground from the car accident, I can taste.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like that's her main thing that comes through, and I'm like, that's fucked.
Taste. Wow, man. Yeah.
But she did a really cool exercise as well. And this is one I think I was actually going to teach you and Eliza and Michaela this as well. But the best way to kind of get your Claire, I don't even what that would be called, Claire taste, Claire flavor. But yeah, so the best way to enhance that is like you close your eyes and you think about it, and then what you do is you get your hand and you pretend that there's a peach in your hand and you bite into it, and you can like go and do it and you can feel the flavors.
She did that exercise with us.
Yeah, you can feel the flavors,
yeah,
and
that's with a lemon.
Yeah, we did it with a peach, which is better.
Yeah.
But there's those cool little tips and tricks as to how to like enhance those different parts. But it's so fun, man. Like when you have that moment of, oh shit, I can do this. Yeah. It's like, it gets addictive, but it's also a struggle because, you'll go to the next class and you'll fucking suck. Yeah. And you'll be like, oh man, like, can I even do this? But you just keep trying and trying until it becomes more fluent.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster. It was definitely.
But that's so cool that you like had a breakthrough. Yeah. Like being new to this. Yeah. Like that's the best.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised, and so Lizzie was amazing as well. That's my partner. She was incredible. Like, she was getting hits left, right, and centre with all these different people, and we were shocked, man. Just like from not even like. Oh yeah, we have like little intuitions and like all that sort of stuff. That's always been within us.
But we're delving into it.
But nothing to make me want to go, I need to try mediumship sort of thing. Yeah. So we're very open-minded, but what a way to sort of throw yourself in the deep end.
But even go like, because I have a really good example. So for anyone who's like interested in getting into this as well, hit up Diane, because Diane, well, I'll put a link to Diane's stuff because she does her Tuesday night classes, which is online as well, and they're really good. But just again, they like to use the term like the intelligence of spirit, right? And it's so fascinating because, so with the last thing I did with Sean, we did readings, but based upon visual stimuli. So say doing a reading and then all of a sudden you feel the need to all of a sudden you're looking at the guitar. You're like, oh, did he like music or was he a musician? Yeah. Like that, and you go off visual cues. And we also had these really wild tarot cards to look at as well. And it's very interesting because the two girls that I was put with, Andrea and Chelsea, remembered the names. Nice. So earlier on, basically, we did like a whole bunch of mediumship exercises, and then Sean was like, all right, let's do like a psychic exercise for those who are psychic dominant. And at this point, I was like quite insecure about my abilities because I was like not really succeeding at the mediumship stuff. And then I was like, oh man, am I going to find out that I'm just terrible at all of this? And we did a thing called psychic speed dating, which was where you all sat in a line and then you'd like go do a reading for this person. And then after 3 or 4 minutes, they go to the next person, you do a reading for another person. So I did 4 readings and all 4 of them were fucking spot on. And I was like, thank God. Like, thank God I haven't just like, I'm actually all right at this.
So was that...
That's for psychic.
Yeah, so the reading would be like them, not anyone else? Is that
just them.
What it was?
Just them. So
pick apart their personality and all that sort of shit?
Yeah, so for example, one of the women... sat down with her immediately. I just saw her in like I could see within her mind, and I could see just shelves and shelves and shelves of books that she's read. And I was like, okay, you like to read? And she's like, oh yeah. I was like, yeah, no, like this is what this topic's going to be about. And got into like the reading and explaining to her, and I was like, it's important that you start writing your own books. And she's like, oh, I've actually like been really like hesitant to do this. And I was like, but the thing that like my strong suit is so with mediumship it's difficult because you bring through medium and then you have to place evidence and you do this and then you have to bring through a message and that. Whereas with psychic, I'm very good at picking up and then giving the advice of where they need to go. Like I'm very good at bringing in the guidance. So each of them I was able to bring through really good guidance for each of them. But so there's two girls, Andrea and Chelsea. Both of them straight away, it was to do with the balance between feminine and masculine within them. And it was that they were both masculine dominant women who were learning to be more feminine. And the two readings I did for them were really good. Each of them got a lot out of it. And so later on, we then did this exercise where we had to do like the visual cue readings and stuff. It was meant to be mediumship, but we all ended up doing psychic.
Yeah.
And just, well, I mean, at the end of the day, like that's something that I kind of wanted to address as well. Is like everyone's like, oh, medium or psychic or this or that. It's like the point is that we're trying to help people heal.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter whether it's medium or psychic. It's that what do they need and what you can bring through. That's, in my opinion, that's what matters. And so, yeah, and I remember we sat outside or upstairs at the pool, and the sun was so bright, man. Like I got outside and I was like, fuck, like what the fuck's going on? Like it's so bright, and I was like, it was hurting my eyes. I was like getting a headache, and I was like, what the hell? Like, and it was like the sun was over there, but I was like, I just couldn't see. And so, and it's weird with readings and stuff because, you know, it's that thing where they say if it feels too obvious, that's probably the answer. And I'd done a masculine and feminine reading for these two girls. Masculine and feminine is like a very reoccurring theme in my life because, like, look at me. And yeah, so when I start doing this reading, pick up this card and it's got like, it's the lovers. So there's like a woman and a man, and there's these two swans looking into a lake that has a reflection of them. And there's another, and it was just like masculine and feminine written all over it. And I was like, and I'd just done a masculine and feminine reading for each of them. I was like, guess we're going down this road again. And in the reading, because you're doing it for both of them, you know, I was talking about, funnily enough, this ties into you slightly as well. But yeah, we're getting into it, and you know, I'm like, okay, so there's like the masculine and feminine, there's like the flow and this and this and this. And then next thing I knew, I was like, you know, I was just like looking how fucking bright it was. And I was like, wait a second, like masculine is sun energy and feminine is moon energy. And I was like, I'm experiencing this brightness because it's telling me that they need to like dim down the masculine to bring back the feminine. And I was like, you guys are like too dominant in this side and you guys need to bring it down. As soon as I said that, the like contrast of outside went down for me. Like the sun like settled down and I could like see properly, and landed like this absolute killer reading for both of them, where they were like, we got so much out of that. And I was like, that was fucking nuts. Like
That's
that was
awesome.
sick. But then the last bit of advice that came to me is they had a lamp up there that was the same as the one that was in the eating area downstairs, where I can't remember, I think it was you who said it possibly, but you're like, no, I think it was possibly Eliza, but there was a lamp. She said, do you see squares on that or do you see cubes?
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
It was one of them were upstairs, and next thing I knew, I'm fucking looking at this lamp. And I'm like, why am I looking at that? And then I was like, so for me, that was like, it was telling me to look at the geometry in it. And one of the like philosophies that I really enjoy kind of delving into, that I've kind of, I call it your personal geometry, is that it's essentially like an advanced way of saying like how you do anything is how you do everything. And so I said to them, I was like, you know, it's important that you work on your feminine qualities, because the more you work on your feminine qualities and the more effort you put into learning yourself, those qualities and those traits that you learn are going to translate into every other area of your life and work toward the geometry of the rest of your life. And the best example I have of this is back in 2018 or 19, when I first started doing jiu-jitsu. It was really bizarre because started doing it, and the hand-eye coordination and the muscle memory and like something on the left side of my brain was fucking activated. The moment I started doing jiu-jitsu, I like doubled in skill on guitar. Like, I don't know what it was, but something about the learning muscle and the way that was like working with my hands, it just like improved my guitar playing like significantly.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, the more effort you put into any pursuit, it will somehow translate into the rest of it. And kind of like said that to them. And then they were like, you know, one of them was a single mother who'd like raised her kids, so she had to take on the masculine role to kind of do that, but now she's able to kind of like relax more. And then the other one was from a very like traditional family that was very much about academics and all that kind of stuff. And then she was now like jumping into spirituality and into mediumship, which is the ultimate feminine pursuit. Like, you know, the intuition and the emotion is like the exploration of the feminine, which is why we were one of 4 straight men at this entire thing, because it's not what we're predisposition to like to do. We're meant to be plumbing and climbing trees, you know, whereas women are meant to be like fostering their emotions. So for us to go and do something like that, that's why there's so few of us. But yeah, again, like the intelligence of spirit, like getting blinded by the sun was part of the reading that I was meant to give.
It's amazing. There's the little subtle cues that can mean so much.
It's nuts, man. But yeah.
It even happened for you. You were saying to me earlier, after the mediumship retreat, you've come back doing something completely different. You know, you've come back, and for some reason, your skill in the trees has just completely improved.
I think as well. It was good. Like I got what I needed out of the retreat. I think, like for me, the issue I was having is that, like, I became very aware that I wanted to do spiritual work, and I guess, you know, I was in a very similar position to you, I guess, where I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, doing tree work. I want to be doing this. And I had made, I don't know whether to call it a mistake, but I had made the decision to emotionally abandon tree work in order to pursue spiritual work. I was like, I'm aborting like doing this, and I'm gonna like go full head first into doing spiritual work. And I started a spiritual business and started working doing readings and healings and stuff. And I did a bunch of healings and things went really weird. Like, did a healing on this one dude, and then next thing I knew, he's like asking me for dick pics and shit, like over text and stuff. And I was like, bro, like, it was really weird. But it was very interesting because the moment that dude walked in, straight away I was like, this guy's got sexual trauma of some sort. Like, I could feel it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. And but like the ones I did, they didn't go the way I was expecting them to. And like the reason for that is really kind of came down to the way I was marketing myself. Like, I was doing, like, you know, I was marketing as doing like spiritual healings, but the way that I do spiritual healings, it's very much this. It's like explaining how to heal yourself. It's about spiritual philosophy. It's about the education of it. And the people that came to me, you know, I think they had a certain idea of what they were going to get out of it, being like, oh, he's going to just heal me.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm going to teach you how to take accountability for your life.
Yeah.
And so it went weird. And after that, I got like really unwell too. Like, I think I just had like a shock to the system. Like, my emotions were just like, what the fuck? And my body responded really poorly. And, you know, I was in this really difficult predicament because I was like, man, I got all these bills to pay. I hate my job because, you know, I'm climbing trees and I don't want to do it, and I'm sore all the time and I'm not making the money I want. And, you know, I thought this was my way out, and it's not, and I don't know where I need to go anymore. And so, but I was like, but I've got this retreat coming up in 2 months, and I'm just going to stick through it until I go to that, and I'm going to find my answers there. But I went into it having no expectations whatsoever, but also expecting the best. And I got definitely more than I ever bargained for from it. Yeah. But not in the way that I thought it was.
Yeah.
because, you know, I was like, I'm going to learn so much from Sean and Tony and like all the teachers. And in reality, I don't think I got really anything from them. It was from meeting people like you and like, again, like Maisha, she's amazing. The Oracle, like, again, like massive shout out to Hendrik as well. He was amazing.
Yeah, he was so cool.
You know, just meeting such incredible people, being a part of that culture. And also I'd found that like I was smoking a fair bit of weed leading up to going to it as well, because I was, well, not just smoking weed, like I was smoking weed and meditating for like 2 or 3 hours a day, because I was like, I need answers. I can't figure out what I'm meant to do here. But going to Bali, not smoking, being away from everything, being in a completely different culture, being surrounded by nature and by like-minded people, and having those conversations, I was like, it makes sense to me now.
Yeah, this is exactly what I needed.
This is exactly what I needed. And it was funny because like the reason I keep bringing up Hendrik is like he was the one who like gave me what I needed first. Because it was after the dinner and the dancers were there and stuff, and we were all at that table. That was really cool.
You told me about this conversation and I was pretty shattered.
Yeah.
That I wasn't there.
But yeah, you guys all went to bed, and yeah, Hendrik and I were talking, and he was just like keen to keep talking, and I felt very like privileged because he's such an intelligent dude.
Yeah.
And he like wanted to know more about me, and I was like, I feel very like very honored to have this. And you know, we eventually got to the point I was like, look, man, like I started getting into like some really, really advanced concepts and stuff. And I was like, look, man, like I can just tell you what my entire plan is in my life, but it's going to take me a while. And he's like, we've got all the time. I was like, all right, this is what I'm trying to do. And I explained to him my grand vision, all of the things that I've learned, everything that I'm trying to do, the message that I'm trying to spread, my philosophies behind everything. And like this is like the conversation is the most elaborate thing I can talk about. Like it's so expansive and so difficult to explain. But you know, he was at the level where he could comprehend it and communicate back.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, he sits there and he goes up to me and he's like, Brendan, like, it is so important that you share this. And I was just like, oh fuck, like that's what I needed.
Yeah.
Like that is what I needed.
Explain
because
your vision to someone.
because no, but it's not that, because I have explained it to people before, but not the right people. And you know, these people I've explained it to, they're like, oh yeah, like yeah, no, like you've got a good point, kind of thing. But I've been developing this concept for 5 or 6 years, right? And it's one of those things where I'm the only person validating myself. I'm like, and the way I'm validating myself is by, you know, judging others in a healthy way of being like, okay, where are they doing better than me? Where are they not? What can I implement into my life? And it's all about, like, at the end of the day, like what I'm trying to do is like help people permanently overcome depression and anxiety, because I've figured out how to do that, because like I've done it myself. It's how to have ultimate health. Like again, on Valentine's Day, I fell out of a tree and nearly broke my back. I herniated 2 of the discs in my spine, and I was back to work in 10 days because I meditated for 200 hours.
Holy shit.
Right? Like I'm talking about like really fucking sophisticated esoteric healing shit. Like I've figured out how to do it. And you know, it's something that I wish to spend my life teaching how to do. But you know, it's very complex. It's not like a simple conversation. It goes into like very, very deep spiritual concepts. And
just got a shout out for free.
But you know, like having someone to talk to this about, and for them to give me the validation without me asking for it, I was like, fuck, like that's what I needed. Like someone who I respect, who I think is extremely intelligent and has, you know, like when he sat down with us, he's just eye contact. So
He was incredible, man. I took a lot from him as well, just from being in his presence and the way the way he would interact with you and the way he would just listen, take in everything, and then he was very incredibly present with the person he would speak to, and then he would frolic around a new person, like just talk, and then by the end, I think he would have met all 99 other people and had deep conversations with him. He was a super incredible.
But that was cool as well, because you know he pulled me aside at one point, and he's like, just before I forget, can we exchange numbers? Like, you know, I want to stay in contact. I was like, yes, dude, like, of course. So like, you know, just getting that validation for everything that I've been putting myself into to learn, because I've, like, again, like you listened to my story on Josh's podcast, like, you know, like this was, you know, validation that what I went through that night was worth it as well. You know what I mean? Like, so up until that point, everything that I've been doing, I've been convincing myself that I've been doing the right thing. And for someone, someone who was advanced, someone who I had respect for, to give me that validation without me asking for it in any way. Like, after that night, I was like, I could go home now. Like, I'm happy to go home. I got what I needed. And then fucking table tipping happened. The fucking water temple happened. The temple of chi happened. Everything happened. The tattoo studio saga happened. You know what I mean?
Awesome, man. I was just a bystander to that. But like,
that was so cool.
Just explain the story. We just went in to go get like tattoos, and I decided I didn't want one, but
Liz was getting one, and I saw the unicorn thing, and I was like, I'm gonna get that.
And then they had him, Brendan, and the tattoo artist had a. No, you explained the story because you were there. I was just watching, and it was cool.
So Liz wanted to get a tattoo, and we went into this tattoo shop, and it was like this dingy, sketchy place, and we didn't know where the tattoo artist was. There's some other woman sitting there, and she just looked grumpy as fuck, and we were like, I don't think this is the place to get a tattoo. Let's look around.
Yeah, it didn't feel right.
And we go walking along, and we see this other tattoo studio, and there's like this. He was like the whitest Balinese dude I've ever seen, man. Like, he was so cool.
Man, he was like,
you know, he's
the most stereotypical Balinese tattooist you could ever.
He was such a sick cunt, man. But he's like, he's got this cool beanie. He's got a septum piercing. He's covered in tattoos. He's like, he looks like he should be at a Limp Bizkit concert, basically. He looks fucking sick. And straight away we're like, this is the place. And they had like dirt bikes out the front, and straight away I was like, yeah, this is my place. And so we start chatting to this dude, and he's like, yeah, we can do it. And they start doing the stencil and stuff, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'll get the tattoo artist to come down. And we're like, oh, you're not the tattoo artist? He's like, nah, man, I just hang out here. I'm like, oh, okay.
The most tattoo artist isn't the tattoo.
And then this little dude rocks.
This little like Balinese dude on his bike.
No tattoos, just like the most soft-spoken. Like, he looked like he should be working in thongs on a construction site somewhere, like doing sketch. Like, he just did not look like a tattoo artist. And then Betty rocks up. He does a tattoo for Eliza. Do you ever call her Eliza? What's the
Just
Liz? All right, yeah. But yeah, so Liz was getting a tattoo, and then I saw like the tattoo book, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get one as well. And so they do the stencil on mine, and then I'm sitting down. I was in my shorts, and then he sees my my shin tattoo, which, for those who don't know, that's Jimmy the Reverend Sullivan from Avenged Sevenfold, who passed away, the drummer, and he saw my shin tattoo, and he's like, oh, the Rev? And I was like, huh? And he's like, the Rev. I was like, oh yeah, the Rev. And he's like, oh, I love the Rev. I love Avenged Sevenfold. I was like, oh, bullshit, man. Hell yeah. And he's like, yeah, I love them so much. Unholy Confessions. And he's like talking about all their songs. I was like, yeah, dude, I fucking love them as well. And then he does the tattoo. He's like, oh, I have my guitar. I'll play a song later. I was like, yeah, dude, let's have a jam. So he whips out this guitar, and like, it was the most poorly set up instrument I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, the action had like an inch between the strings and the fretboard. But he starts trying to play like Unholy Confessions on it and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, man. And he's like, and then he starts playing So Far Away, which is the song they essentially wrote about Jimmy after he passed away. And he starts like, he could sing really well. He had a beautiful voice. But yeah, he's like, yeah, starts singing the song, and I was like, yeah, this is cool, man. And then he like stopped, and I was like, oh yeah, like we'll get up. And he's like, no. He's like, I'm getting my phone for the lyrics. We'll sing the whole song. And I was like, oh okay. I was like,
so committed to
he was
singing
like,
the whole song.
I was like, okay, yeah, we'll sing the whole song. He starts singing it, and then I was like, oh, yeah, this is good. And then he's like, come on, like join in. I was like, oh fuck, alright, I guess I'll join in. So I start singing with him, and then but there's like a part in this song which is like the top of my range. Like it's a high note to hit, and I was like, and we're getting up to this part, and I was like, oh, we're doing this part? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh man, I haven't warmed up. Everyone's filming us. Everyone's watching. like we can't fuck this up. And then, but yeah, like ended up like belting out the tune, and then he gave us like some free shirts from his tattoo studio, and like, you know, we ended up adding each other on the socials and following each other's bands and stuff, and I sent him some music, and it was just like, it was just so cool. Like, you know, you don't expect to just get a flash sticker tattoo and end up like singing a song with the tattoo artist in his studio, and you know, it was just such a random cool like meeting that we had that just added to the amazingness of the entire trip.
I was a bystander. I was just sitting there watching because like I didn't get a tattoo, but then next you know, there's just this whole jam out going, and like you just singing together. I was just sitting there going like, this is absolutely amazing. Like this is just random human connection that you can get.
Yeah.
And the happiness that can derive just from one simple little song. Like it was so nice to just sit and watch, man. I was like, this is awesome.
Did you end up watching the music video that I sent you for it?
For that song?
Yeah.
No, I actually didn't, bro.
Dude, I remember the first time I watched it, man, I like had to stop the video. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It was I think that was the first time I had ever actually like cried over something like that. That was when I was like 17, I think, or something. But yeah, no, that was so sick, and it was just like you couldn't have predicted for something like that to happen.
Definitely not.
But there were a few highlights. I remember it's like one of the ones is when we did like the Temple of Chi, or was it Pyramids of Chi, or was it the sound healing?
Pyramids of something?
Yeah. But I remember we're all in there, and then I think it was Sue. She's like one of the older women, because the place was like shaped as a pyramid. She just like went to go to her spot, and she just walked head first into the wall, like just like nearly knocked herself out. And it was just like, oh man, like it was such a loud hit. And we're just like, and then she's like on the ground holding her head. And I was like, that's the worst thing to happen before doing sound healing.
Yeah.
I think, and what happened? Michaela started snoring and got woken up, and
yeah, the sound healing itself was awesome, man.
yeah, it was really good.
I didn't have like a. I didn't have like a. I had like a very in between, like sort of sleep, not sleep thing, but like I was like dreaming of situations happening, and then I'd be like, oh no, I'm here, I'm listening to this sort of thing. Like I'm talking to you in conversation, and then I'm pulling myself out. I'm like, huh? No. So it was like a confusing dream, mid-not dream experience.
That's cool.
But the highlight was the didgeridoo at the end. He was incredible at that. Like I didn't realize that you could add beats inside of the didgeridoo, like didgeridoo as well.
wild.
I thought it was just the sound, but once he started going like boom, 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 and like making the beats, I was like, dude, this is incredible.
That was good. Yeah, the sound healing was good for me as well. It's really weird because like again, I'm one of those people who have never had. Like, there's some people who go to sound healings and they have like an exorcism of some sort. You know what I mean? Like they're crying.
I spoke to a chick that had an orgasm.
Yeah, like
she had like a full sexual like experience.
yeah, like some people have these like extreme reactions to it, and like I've never had that. I'm just kind of like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
like good vibe.
Oh, similar.
You know what I mean?
It was nice.
But mine was good. I had a really strange dream the night before. So I think the night before is when I had the conversation with Hendrik, and after that I was like, you know, I couldn't sleep. I was like, man, like so much information just from that chat, and you know, it put me in a good mood. I was just like sending like nice messages to all my mates, and you know, just all that kind of stuff. And then that night I was like, oh, I need to set an intention and try and figure some information out, like. Because I was like, you know, I know that I need to pursue this path now, even though I had those bad experiences, like doing spiritual work beforehand. And I had this very weird dream where I was like, what happened? Someone tried to like hurt me or kill me or something in the dream, and I ended up like getting to the point where it was literally like a do or die situation that I had to like kill them. Otherwise I was going to get murdered. And then someone saw it and they're like, did you just kill that guy? And everyone kept turning against me, and the only way I could survive this was like to run and to keep like killing people in self-defense kind of thing. But I couldn't express my side of the story because no one was interested. And I woke up and I was like, the fuck was that about? Like, that was a shit dream.
Yeah.
And
there's always something you can take from it, mate.
yeah, and when we went to the sound healing thing, it was cool because I was able to, it like put me back into that dream while I was still consciously awake. And I was like, okay, what was that dream about? And it was, you know, the dream was really about, because, you know, what we're doing here is, you know, with like spiritual concepts and what I'm doing and everything, like we're really trying to put ourselves on the front line of a new movement that we're going to get a lot of hate for.
Yeah.
Really, because we're going against what everyone's been told, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
That dream was, you need to stand up for yourself, and you need to, like, you're going to get attacked and you're going to be put down by everyone. And it was really just a conditioning experience for me. And yeah, through the sound healing I was able to explore that and be like, oh, so that's what it meant. Like it was me learning, it was like me learning that I need to grow thicker skin when it comes to this stuff, and got to stick through it. And yeah, after that I was like, man, I feel good. Like that was so nice.
That's awesome.
Something else that cracked me up was when they gave me the dessert and I didn't eat it. I like handed it to the girl and she like looks at me like, because I didn't eat the food. She cracked it.
What did you get? That was bloody.
It looked too sweet. It was a bit too much, and I was like, I'm not feeling this.
It was extreme sweet. But it was nice. Like it was all vegan. Vegan food, so it was and it had like no sugar in it, and it was a vegan products in the desserts. But it was really nice. It was sweet though.
Yeah, but yeah, like what a crazy. It was just so good. Yeah, and like as I said, like by the end of the retreat, I was actually quite happy because I remember when we first looked at the itinerary. And you're like, oh yeah, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and you see like the ending ceremony, and I was already getting emotional on the first day reading it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna be like, you know, so sad to leave, but then like, by the end, man, I was like, I'm fucking ready.
It was enough. Yeah.
Like I'm ready to get back to life. Like I got 3 days off to come back and, you know, process what I've experienced, and then I'm fucking back to it. And yeah, ever since it's been really good. Like I feel the best I've ever felt, and I'm waking up every day just like I'm always in a good mood, but I'm in an extra good mood like all the time now. And I'm like this is what I wanted, and it's given me a lot of like clarity again. Like I got back and I was like, all right, need to like start lining up podcast episodes, need to start like getting all my music stuff happening, need to like, you know, start working hard with the tree stuff, and again like doing my own jobs and everything now. It just like rewired me to be like, okay, this is where we're going, and these are all the things that I need to do in order to make sure that this whole thing happens.
Yeah, that was a very similar experience for me, because I started like slowing down a little bit because I had the same intentions of like, once I go to this retreat, I'm going to get a lot out of it. So I started to like slow down a little bit beforehand, but after it, I was like, I'm getting straight back into it, in a cafe at lunch at work every day, and like, working on my shit.
Nice.
Moving forward. So yeah, it was super positive, just on the overall mindset of your mind after. It was just refreshing,
Yeah, man. That's so good. So moving forward, where are you trying to go now? Like, what's on your horizons?
So I'm very different to you in the sense of like the plan ahead. I'm very
Are you in the flow state now? You just let it happen.
like a flow dude, and just whatever comes. So right now I'm sort of, hence the mediumship retreat, and I'd spoken to you this before. I'm just like looking to see where I'm strong in the terms of like spirituality, whether it's in mediumship or tarot. I'm just like sort of on the search and on the hunt around. I don't have any hard sort of plans of where I want to get and where I want to be, but I know it's going to be within the spiritual realm. So
I guess
open-minded, man.
I guess at the same time you're like you've just stepped into this whole realm. You know what I mean? So it's like I mean, no, that's it's a cool place to be.
Yeah.
When you do step into it, because you're like, bring it.
Yeah.
It's very much like that.
I'm open. Yeah, I'm open to anything, bro. As for plans, not many, but so many at the same time. You know?
Yeah. And so, I guess like tying it back. So where are you going? Like, what are your plans with the website at the moment? Because I kind of like, because you said that you want it to be kind of like a community for where to find all the different services you're after. So what you were saying that you have all the different areas. So you have like Reiki, yoga, mediumship, psychic, and then so what you click on that, and then you have a bunch of spaces that you have for rent essentially for people to advertise themselves.
Yep.
And so what? So how much do you charge for all of that, and how do you get in contact with you to do that kind of stuff?
At the moment, I'm doing half price because it's all very new. So I don't find it's meant to be $22 a month, but at the moment I'm keeping it at $11.11. So it's really super cheap. I'm not looking to be greedy about it. That's not where this space is at. I'm looking to help people, but at the moment it is half price because the value of it isn't truly there yet, because it hasn't completely started to roll and kick off, and like, so yeah, that's the price, $11.11.
And then are you going to? So at some point, are you going to limit how many people you can have advertised on a certain thing, or like how do you?
It's a good question. I know the website's going to have to develop in a way that makes it fair, because there's obviously going to be a hierarchy of who's at the top of the page and at the bottom, and if there's too many people, yada yada yada. So I'm going to have to develop that in a way of like maybe having
a more
sections.
premium price to be at the top, or
Yeah, but I don't want to go down that route either of having like unfairness of premium tiered and all that sort of thing. It's like I said, it's all very new at the moment. It's fine. I can fit about 200 people on there at the moment.
Yeah,
so
nice.
once I get to that sort of limit, or if one of the modalities starts to fill up a bit, I might have to start thinking about how I'm going to.
Well, maybe even
It
perhaps.
can even switch like day to day, like switch who's at the top and who's in the middle, and
Or you could have like when you click on it, maybe it shows like, because people like show a collage of the people, so that straight away people get a quick look at who's on there, and they might be gravitated toward a certain person, and so they'll scroll all the way till they come across that person's thing, or like
yeah, well, that was the idea actually. So like when you do click on mediumship, it'll have a name and a photo of that person, and then on the page you'll just see people, and that's what I thought about. I was like, well, if someone will naturally feel gravitated to the look of some person, because you're sort of meant to go to that person. So that's how the system is laid out anyway. So I know there's going to be hierarchical things later, but I'll deal with that when it sort of comes around. If it becomes to be that full, hopefully I can just help some people on the way. If it stays small, it stays small. I don't mind.
No, well, it's cool, man. I mean, and I think that's it. Like, at the end of the day, it's, that's kind of like that's the way I like to kind of explain abundance to people. It's like you can either, like abundance is like the opposite of manipulation, in my opinion. So it's like, for example, say you're in a relationship and, your partner's not acting the way you want them to. You can either have a go at them and annoy them and, you know, try and manipulate them into acting the way you want, or you can start acting that way yourself and lead by example and allow them to learn how to do that themselves. And that's the abundant way of it. So it's like the way I kind of look at everything that I try to do.
That's very interesting. You say that, but
Yeah, like the way that I try to go about my things is that, you know, I just, like, rather than, like, even like, so a lot of my stuff's like very music based, for example. It's like, at the moment there's this horrible thing where if you're on a label or something like that, they're like, you need to put everything on, make reels and TikTok and this and that and get like the audience's attention and everything. And I'm like, I hate that.
Yeah.
Like
I struggle with that side as well.
my music is more than 10 seconds long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't care for that. And so the way that I am choosing to go about this is, you know, I got into tree work intentionally. I was like, I want to do a job that I thoroughly enjoy, that I can have flexibility with and make good money with, while I pursue my dreams. Like, it's like climbing trees and playing with chainsaws is my safety net.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's a pretty good one. But you know, I wanted to set myself up in a way that I'm happy and having a good time and making enough money so that I can be selfless with everything else I do. So it's like, cool, I want to make as many like free resources for like spiritual and mental health as I possibly can. You know, there's been many occasions where I've, you know, kind of like put a message out there on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, just saying to people like, hey, I've got like a free 2 days this week. Like, if anyone's struggling with their mental health or anything like that and just looking for an outside perspective, like, feel free to message me and I'll help you, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And, you know, there's been multiple people, like, you know, never expected anything like this. Like, I've had multiple people contact me. Like, there was one lady, a lady, and she hit me up saying that she has like her partner. No, I think she said she wanted to be in a relationship with someone, and he was like, "Why would I be in a relationship with you? Like, you're overweight, you this," and like fucking ripped into her, like just the nastiest shit ever. And you know, she's like, "All men like this," and you know, for this, I was like, I always send a voice message. I'm not just gonna text back. And I was like, you know, just said like, the way this dude has treated you is not okay. Like, whenever anyone treats you maliciously, that is a projection of the way that they feel about themselves. Like, that is like, you will act toward others the way that your inner world is. If you are hurting on the inside, you're going to hurt others, and that's why doing the self work is so important. I'm like, I'm very particular with who I refer to as a boy or a man and a girl and a woman. There are very specific things, and this guy you're talking about, he's not a man, and men are not like this. I was like, you are like, there's nothing wrong with you. If you personally feel that you are insecure about your body, then you can do something about that. Like, the power is within you to fix your life the way that you need to. But most importantly, don't rely on the validation of other people. And if someone treats you with malicious intent, get rid of them. Like, you have to work on your own self-love, and you'll find the right people. And she messaged me the next day saying that right before my message came through, she was about to overdose on pills, and that I basically like saved her from a suicide attempt. And she's like, if there's anything I can do to help you, like anything. And I'm just like, you can listen to my band Single when it comes out if you want, like, you know what I mean? It's like, and there's been like multiple cases of that where I've like received messages from people saying that I like prevented them from committing suicide, or like, and it's not even that much. It's just a fucking 10-minute voice message,
quick.
listening to them and being and supporting them. You know what I mean? And you know, I'd much prefer. You know, I don't want to be one of those bands that just fucking blow up and get like a heap of followers. Like, I want to have people who like I've connected with, listening to like what I do or listening to my message. So the way I like to go about it is like, I like to be as selfless as possible, because I know that if I can affect someone in a way that changes their life or helps them become a better person, I know that they're going to want to help me back. And that's the abundance thing. It's like, we help each other. It's not like I'm trying to trick you into listening to my stuff, or I'll give you advice for this much money and, have greed involved with it or trying to manipulate them into doing things. I'm just going to live my life in the most positive way that I can. I'm going to try and create as many free resources as I can. I'm going to help as many people as I can. And hopefully in return, they might want to help me back when there's something that I'm doing that's important.
Yeah. And it will come around in that positive way as well, because that's just how the universe operates.
Yeah.
It operates in that sense. If you're going to do selfless things, then selfless acts are going to come straight back towards you as well. But you don't do those selfless acts for the return. You do it because it's just how.
But it is.
Be doing that.
But it is one of those But again, it's not wrong to be selfish in that way, because who doesn't want to be surrounded by positive people or surrounded by people who they've helped become better people, because it's great because you get surrounded by people who you then get to see go on their journey of helping the people around them. It's such a magnificent reward to have that. And there was something else I was going to chuck on that, but I've completely forgotten what it was. But yeah, but that's the whole key of abundance. You know what I mean? It's do things selflessly, and everything comes back to you. It's karma. But when and relationships are the best example of this. If you are willing to go out of your way for your partner and give them space and listen to them and have that humility and that integrity as well, you're going to have a healthy relationship. I mean, you've been with Liz for 10 years or something, you'd know all about that. Whereas, I've seen so many relationships where, you see these guys or these girls who don't have these soul nourishing activities in their lives, that do take drugs and do party and all this, and they find each other and it's the new dopamine hit, and spend all this money and do all this stuff, and then all of a sudden the dopamine hit wears out and they're back to normalcy, and all of a sudden it's just chaos. And it's all because there was no abundance involved in it. There was no self-love or anything like that. It was, hey, I enjoy this feeling and there's nothing more than this. And in the worst case scenarios, there's a child involved at some point, and then they're stuck with this person, and then the child gets brought up in this horrible dynamic where the parents don't actually love each other, and they were just the new shiny thing in each other's lives, and it just evolves into this fucking chaotic mess. And and it's what is the solution for that? It's self-love, having that humility. It's learning to connect with people before making stupid decisions with them.
That's why this movement is so good. So many people are starting to wake up to that self-love thing and are starting to put it into act, and it's just going to get better and better for the generations that are going to come below us, because they're going to start to see their parents putting their time into themselves, and then it's going to flow and get better and better and better. So
and it's crazy as well, because it's the craziest thing as well is that this whole spiritual thing it's the cool thing now. You know what I mean? 5 years ago, so my journey properly started 6 years ago, I'd say, proper, when I was I'm doing this. But I remember in the midst of it, I was taking a lot of psychedelics, I was doing a lot of meditating, I was reading a lot of books. I was just, again, in that space where I just stepped into it, and I was I just want to know everything. And, I'm going to work with, these guys that drinking piss every night and gambling and, oh, did you see the Western Bulldogs last night? And just all that kind of shit.
Yeah, Muggle World.
Yeah. And they're what'd you do on the weekend? And I was they're oh, did you fuck any bitches on the weekend? Kind of thing. And I was no, I took my dog on a hike to the woods and went for meditated under the trees. And they're what are you, gay? They're what? They're what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm just you got no idea, man. Yeah. You have no idea, what you're doing to yourself. And you see it in their behaviors, they're always arguing with their partners and frustrated and angry and spending all their money on materialistic things to get that dopamine hit, to distract themselves from themselves. And it really, the most courageous thing anyone can do is be with their own thoughts. Like, that is genuinely the most courageous thing you can do. And the moment that you can turn all of this off, have a lightning storm that cuts out your power, you're in the middle of the night, it's just you, and you can sit there in your thoughts and be happy, like, that's when you've won. Because the moment you've got that, like, that self-love and that point, like, when your 0 point is a positive, that means that anytime anyone comes into your life, if they don't contribute to it in a positive way, you're like, nah. I'm better off without you. You know what I mean? Like, when you find that self-love and that self-worth, like, you're fucking unstoppable. Like, nothing will stop you, because you know that things can always be better. Rather than, things are going to get worse when I'm without her, or things are going to get worse when I'm not at this job. So, nah, dude, like, things with me right now. Yeah, things always get better. And as well, like, again, acting with, like, that integrity and that humility. If you know that, if you trust yourself and you, like, truly believe that you are working toward becoming a better person and putting the effort in, like, you know that you're a positive influence on the people around you, So it's just all that, like, just really important stuff that you just work on yourself, and you'll affect the people around you in a positive way. It'll deter the negative people in your life, and it's a very good learning experience to go through that, when getting betrayed by your closest friends that you thought, and going through that. But it teaches you what true friendship and what a true bond should be like. But yeah, like, I recommend it for everyone, man. Like, go on the hero's journey. Like, go on the hero's journey. Go into fucking solitude for 2-3 years. Lose all your friends, work yourself out, and you will come out the other side, and you'll be like, holy shit, like, it's the best decision you can ever make.
There's I had like a concept of
a spiritual concept. I'm loving the double socks, by the way. Like, this one's got holes here, and the one underneath has holes elsewhere. It's good.
Did they have holes elsewhere? That was the whole point of it, to cover up the holes and the socks underneath. Just talking about, like, when you do the positive things, the selfless acts and all that sort of thing.
And it's fun
it
as
is,
well.
And it just feels nice, bro.
Yeah.
Just being nice and doing nice things makes you feel nice. So I just continue to do it.
And so, real quick, I'm going to just interject, because I was about to say something, and then you pretty much touched on what I'm talking about. But that is what karma is.
Yeah.
Like, people have this concept that, like, oh, you did a bad thing and, like, karma's going to get you. It's like, no. The fact that you are capable of doing that bad thing is the karma. That is the karma. Like, that is it. You don't feel good doing bad things to people. You know what I mean? And it's like, doing selfless things and doing the right thing and being kind to people and having compassion, like, the karma of that is who you are. Like, you're going to be, the karma is you're surrounded by healthy people. You know what I mean?
The feeling of feeling good and all the rest.
Like, there's not this fucking long-term thing that's going to happen. It's, the karma is here and now. Like, it's who you are. The karma of the acts that you are doing is creating who you are in this present moment.
Yeah, and then who you are will reflect into the universe around you and the people around you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's actually quite simple.
It is.
Like,
It is.
It's just, don't be a shit cunt. It's so simple.
Yeah,
and good things will come.
There's like a ripple effect as well. I think you like touched on it real slightly, but when you do kind acts or you do like good things yourself and people see that, there's just like a ripple. So you'll do this kind of thing and then people see you do it, and then someone else will want to do that kind of thing because they saw you do it, and then it's like this ripple effect. You'd be surprised how many people you truly do affect in your life.
Oh, bro, I've got a story, but I've got a story about that, but I can't say it on here. I'll tell you it later, actually.
Okay, cool.
Not necessarily a positive thing, but definitely a ripple effect from something that I did that someone else found out that I did and then tried to impress me by doing something themselves, and I was like, you're an idiot. Like, what I did was stupid as fuck. The competition ripple effect.
Negative ripple.
Yeah, mate, it was weird.
That's something we could chat about as well, because like it's the same thing. If you're acting negatively, and the people that you say you act negatively towards, and then they get offended, and then next minute they take it out on their family, and then that same ripple happens from negative effects. So every single little
That's trauma, really, isn't it?
Yeah, every single little thing you do, every action they take, you gotta take it with integrity, because you are affecting everything around you with what you do.
Straight up, man.
Yeah.
So again, like, just be a good person, man. But again, like the you know, I don't want to just say like be a good person. Like, you have to give advice on how to do that, and it's again like go inward and have humility. Like question whether the way you are acting is affecting the people around you in a positive way or not, and stop with the excuses.
Yeah.
You know, like stop with the excuses. Stop going, oh, but this happened to me, or maybe you had a bad childhood and you're like, oh, I didn't get to have a good childhood, so therefore I'm acting out now, and you know, I'm allowed to act like this and not act like an adult, or you know, just all this nonsense. Like it's all you.
Yeah.
It's all you.
Big time. And you're gonna keep, if you stay in that sort of mindset, you're gonna stay in that loop, because you're not going to work out a problem unless you work out a problem. Does that make sense? Like, if you keep coming back around to the same shit, so if you keep looping yourself in the same bad mindsets.
Well, the thing is that it's,
you keep getting the same lessons until you finally break yourself free from it.
and that's it as well. Like, it's important. You know, again, our mental language is super important as well. You know, like just a small thing, like say there's a difficult thing that's going on in your life. Say your boss is abusing you or something, right? It's rather than looking at this as being a problem, look at it as being a challenge of something that you need to learn, right? Because you're attracting these things to yourself. But she loves dreaming. Like, she goes for the most hectic dreams, man. Goes hard.
Really cute.
And but yeah, like again, we all create our own realities. You know, everything exists in the multidimensional reality before it exists here, and any situation that you're in, you've manifested it yourself. And you know, everything is about growth, every situation. And I can, you know, the thing is that something that I'm really beginning to learn is that there's never a point where you're comfortable.
Yeah.
You may it just never happens.
Yeah.
Like, it just never happens.
It's part of the earth.
You'll be stressed about money and be backed into a corner, and then next thing you know, you have to make a massive shift that's going to compromise your situation even more. And the thing is that to say the phrase like the only constant is change.
Yeah.
And you can either adapt to it and understand that, you know, you can either adapt to the change, seek the opportunities that are coming with it, be one with the flow, be one with the ebb and the flow, or you can try and fight against it and drown in the fucking currents of time, because they're not going to stop.
Yeah.
Everything is always shifting, and it's always shifting in your favor. Good and bad is a subjective concept.
Yeah, and
right?
it's a personal idea, and
Yeah.
like a negative situation for you could be a super positive situation for
Yeah.
someone else. It just proves that there's no such thing.
Yeah.
It's how you take it.
It's what you make from it.
Yeah.
Like everything is just experience.
Yeah.
It's all subjective experience, and what you take from it is what you gain.
Yeah. And
So-
as you start to do the internal work and start working yourself out, it all becomes a lot easier to handle. When a negative situation comes at you, you're like, okay, I felt these feelings before, I know how to deal with this, it is fine, take it positively, and then it just ends up working itself out. So,
And you learn how to problem solve a lot better too.
yeah.
You become a lot less anxious about things.
Yeah, and when you feel like a feeling come through, you're like, ooh, I felt this before, I've dealt with this through this situation. It's really on just focusing how you act and react to the world around you, and working out how to navigate it into a positive direction, because life is never happening against you. Life is happening for you in every single way, in every single experience and situation that comes to you. It is happening for you, not against you. But it's up to you. This is the hard part about being human, because you've got to try and decipher and pick what it is. So if someone comes through and punches you square in the nose, you're like, that sucked. Pretty hard to take a positive out of that. My fucking nose is broken. But there's a reason behind it. Maybe it's just like literally telling you to stop doing what you're doing right now. You've got to try and pick it apart. That's the hard part.
And again, like, that also comes down to your energy, man. Like, you might just have a really punchable energy because, you know, you're just putting out stressful negative vibes. Like, I can guarantee, like, I just couldn't imagine anyone trying to assault me. But like, I live in Frankston, man. Like, I'm around crackheads all the time. Like, it's just like, I've never had a single situation where anyone has as much of even like attempted to even phase me. You know what I mean? But it's, you know, but I know it's because I put out like a positive energy out there, or at least I have like, I know how to project my energy well, and I've got a lot of confidence. And again, this comes down to like doing the self-work. Like, I used to be very emotionally abusive, very insecure, very weak, very mentally weak, very emotionally weak, and actively saw that within myself and went to change it. And you know, my main philosophy on myself is I want to become the most capable person possible, and that means in every area. It means physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, sexually, creatively, everything. Like, I'm pushing myself to the peak of my limits. That's why I climb trees. That's why I write 20-minute fucking progressive metal songs and sing and scream. It's why I ride motorbikes. It's why I do mediumship. These are all the most extreme forms of each of those things, because I'm trying to push myself beyond my own limitations. So because of that, because I've done that inner work, that's why people don't fuck with me either, because I've put in the work to make sure that I am capable of taking care of myself in any situation that I need to be in. And that brings a lot of safety into my life. It brings a lot of safety into the lives of the people around me. And again, like, it's a positive ripple effect. I had a friend who was living with me, and he saw me going to the gym, and he started working on himself. He dropped heaps of weight, started feeling a lot better about himself, started you know, got a better job, started practicing guitar more. Like, his life improved dramatically, and I gained a lot from him as well. But you know, you affect the lives of the people around you based upon the way that you act. It's not about what you say or what you pretend to be online. It's about how you act, because at the end of the day, people will find out. You know, I've had friends who, you know, I thought they were like the coolest people ever because we were all on the same wavelength. And then a couple of years later, turns out that behind closed doors, they're lying and making up stories and doing all this stuff and falling short of what they're saying, and they're affecting people in negative ways and fucking cheating on their partners and being dishonest and stuff. And those same people are in the same places that they were then now, because they never grew. They weren't developing or like having that humility to realize, hey, I'm actually a pretty shit person. I need to do something about this. Why am I a shit person? Oh, because I went through this in my childhood, and addressing these things, they just continued to go into the cycle and abuse drugs and drink and do all this stupid shit, rather than addressing the trauma and correcting their unhealthy behaviors. So that's really it, man. That's all what fucking spirituality is to me, man. It's just working on yourself and understanding that we incarnated into this existence to experience being human and experiencing the human condition to its fullest capacity, and having fun doing that and creating. And the way to create the best and to reach your highest potential is by establishing a healthy relationship and a healthy connection with the other portions of yourself, including your higher self, who's the one who fucking chose to do this. You know, who has the answers, who can help you get to where you want to be. So,
well, yeah,
That's it, man.
Sometimes it's hard not to get like hard on yourself when you're not doing the right things now and then. Like if I spend a day like not working for myself, what the fuck am I doing? Blah, 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 blah.
But it's a good thing.
But yeah, it is a good thing.
It's a good
to
thing,
have
man.
that integrity on yourself for sure. But like, I find where was I getting with this? Yeah, that's right. Earth is hard.
Where was I going with this?
Yeah.
Earth is hard. That's all right. Let's go. We're back.
Earth is one of the hardest places in terms of like polarity.
That's pretty full on, man.
That you can go to.
It's pretty hectic.
So just
There's a lot.
in that of itself, for you to be here, especially at a time of like great intense change, just to be here taking on that challenge, you should be happy and proud of yourself.
Yeah, that's a very
that
fuck
you're
yeah.
doing that. Like your soul is already highly developed to even be here.
Yeah.
So my little message of this is don't get too hard on yourself if you have done those mistakes or made those mistakes or continue to make mistakes, or if you're not doing this or you're doing that. You should just be proud of yourself of where you are. And to be honest, if you're listening to this podcast as well, you're probably that little bit step ahead as well. It's just a message of be happy for where you're at.
Yeah, no, 100%.
That's sort of how I live my life. I just try and stay happy, stay positive. I don't try and plan too much. I take it as it comes, and I find it a good way to live. My missus doesn't. She finds it stressful because I'm very blasé with what I do.
But again, like, I guess, you know, we become desensitized to things because of how much we're around it. But like, I mean, look at this, man. Like, what the fuck even is water? You know what I mean? Like, look at how miraculous that is. You know, the fact that like we drink this stuff and then like our piss tells us whether we're hydrated or not. Like the level of creation, the level of like what do you call it? The level of like creative desire that's been put into this. Like what even is a shadow, man? Like light, shadows, the sun. Like you can really have a lot of fun becoming fascinated again with what we're doing, just by paying more attention to the things that you've taken for granted. Like
we've got these two creatures in here right now.
These two idiots.
Absolutely adore our pets. It's wild. You have this like working relationship with something that you can't speak with.
Yeah.
I know what you mean with fun and that little bits of love and and awe about what's really around you.
Yeah. Like go outside. Like even like something that is really fascinating. Like take some time, find some grass, and actually like look at the grass, and then have a look at all the insects that are like fucking around underneath it and like doing their daily things, and you're like, what are you guys doing? Like, you know what I mean? And like,
sort of stuff all the time.
you know, like you're follow a bug and just see what they do.
Yeah.
And how they interact and how they butt heads, and they're like, oh no, and they go up the tree further, and you're like, where are you, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Deep,
It's so cool.
So diverse.
But no, like you nailed it on the head. Like, you know, you should be proud just to fucking be here.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a tough challenge,
and have the courage to, you know, have incarnated into one of the most complex periods of our history.
Yeah, big time.
You know, like we're at the peak of this line of technology. You know what I mean? Like the electronic technology. Like we're at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like from here on, like the next thing is that the next advancement of technology is consciousness.
Yeah.
That's where we're at now.
Yeah.
And
We're in that in between.
we're in the in-between phase, and that's why it's important that we do stuff like this, because like, you know, we're essentially, well, at least like I can only speak for myself, but I want to be a pioneer for where we're trying to go and help aiding in that expansion and that development, because
Essentially what we are.
that's what we're at, man. Like not enough people are doing this kind of stuff. And again, there are a lot of, you know, spirituality is quite a new concept in the digital age. It's a very new concept, and there's so much out there, and there's so much incredible information, and there's so much not so good information.
Yeah.
But the main thing to remember is that like we're here to have fun.
Yeah.
Like this is, and I'm having a blast. Like this is super fucking fun. Like do things that excite you. If it doesn't excite you, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like if you're unenthused by what you do, write a plan of how to get out of your situation to do something that you want to do. You can do it. The only reason you believe you can't do it is because you've been told you can't do it
Yeah.
by people who aren't doing what they want to do.
And then that gives you another little cue to go look inside of yourself.
Listen to people that excite you. Listen to people that you're inspired by. Don't take advice from anyone who isn't in a position that you want to be in. That's as simple as it is. So many people like, oh, I was going to do that, but it's too hard. Or, you know, oh, when you get older, you get old and fat and weak. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's complete fucking bullshit. You're in complete control of your life. Like, your cells don't stop regenerating as you get older.
Is that a theory, is it?
Well, they just, people, like, what do you think growing old is? Like, your cells are still regenerating. Like, they're new cells all the time.
Yeah, true.
It's your beliefs that make you think that you're old and fucking weak and sore. Like, you don't have to be. Like, you don't have to subscribe to this fucking societal agreement that everyone's a part of. That you have to grow old and hate your hair going grey, and hate your skin getting saggy, and fucking losing your eyesight and retiring and needing a pension. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
You can actually just be healthy and continue to be healthy and to grow healthily and love yourself and love aging and continue to fucking work and do the things that you love. Like, you've been tricked.
Yeah.
You've been tricked.
We got laid out a system to us. That
At 5 years old, you're into the system, and then you fucking end up 60 years old, and that's it.
it's wild, man.
Learn to have fun. It's way better.
But it's breaking apart in front of our very faces, I reckon. The next 10 years, it's going to be sick. It's going to be sick.
It's going to be sick, man. Everything is very good.
Yeah. You thought TV was good earlier.
But yeah, I think this is a pretty good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I think we've touched on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went pretty far with this one.
Yeah.
I thought it's been pretty good.
That's good. I really appreciate you getting me on, man.
No, of course, dude. But yeah, Daniel Courts, as in tennis courts, as it was explained to me.
Yeah.
Give him a follow at spiritual.concepts on Instagram.com. Spiritualconcepts.com.au. I guess that's it, isn't it?
Nailed him, yeah. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, after getting Josh's surname wrong, I just trauma. Again, went inward, reflected. Am I a shit friend? Maybe. better improve my remembering skills and make sure not to do that again.
There you go. You made me happy.
There we go. That's the ripple effect, humility, and just improving everyone's lives. But all right. So you've been watching the Redefining Spirituality Podcast. My name is Brendan Van Wichen. This has been Daniel Courts. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Peace.
Fuck yeah. That was good. That was very good. Imagine if we click play. I've been dying for a diary.